again. Apologies about that, folks. Hopefully everyone's still tuned in. Yeah, I don't know. That was very weird. That's quite annoying as well. But let's hop back in. Ha! Funnily enough, we don't need the Dragoman series now. We'll be able to just hop straight into thingy. Also, there we go. Correct scene. Yeah, that was very, very weird. I don't know. That was ood. I guess I'll close the vertical capture for now. Okay. I'm just not going to bother with TikTok Live. Dude, what I need is I need a YouTube editor that can create shorts and whatever so we can start uploading TikTok. There's no point going live with 0 people. TikTok acts like it's going to like have a lot of people find your content, but it's weird because it clearly doesn't curate you to the correct people if there are even those people. But my bad on that. So we are back. I think if I just don't have TikTok Live open in future, that's not going to be a problem. Because what's probably causing the issue is like I'm using a very janky format to capture to TikTok. What I'm doing is in OBS, there is a plugin that allows you to capture your POV like this, but also for like a phone. And then TikTok Studio needs to crop OBS and part of the overlay, right? So you can already sound, it already sounds very janky. Then add in the instability of AOE4 because, well, let's be totally real, it's actually quite, like, it does have stability issues. And you've probably got a recipe for disaster, no matter how good your PC is. So, TikTok's where you find a funny meme and never know the creator's name. Sometimes you find the creators. You'd be surprised how much money you can make off of TikTok. All right, so we should be getting ready for Lash now. Lash versus Cow. One sec. Fact, where are we at? They started yet? They should be drafting in a second. Okay, if they don't draft, we'll do me and Micah versus Lemonos because we have that as an option too. But we should hopefully have Mr. Cow and Mr. Lash in a sec. Let me check if they've dropped the links. It was now, right? I'm just double checking because I'm questioning everything. Yeah, 17-0. So technically they begin in 2 minutes. I don't know. Let me check Lash's at his PC, or has he wandered off for a second? Is he maybe waiting for Cow? Is Cow here? And magical Cow? It is time, sir. You must take to the battlefield. And either clap cheeks or get cheeks clapped. Cheeks clapped. Words today. Is YouTube live again as well? Okay, yeah. I don't know if a lot of people were waiting in the previous live stream or not. But apologies on that, guys. Yeah, that's very weird. Okay, they're drafting now, so we do have the draft now coming up. I'm still weirded out, like, what caused... Like, I'm pretty sure... I'm confident that I was right in what caused that. It's just bloody annoying. This is the thing that, like, Twitch does to your brain as well, right? Because it's like... Having crashes is a very big negative to trying to grow your stream. Because it just looks bad on, like, metrics, no matter the truth of, like, what caused it or, like, what your real metrics are, right? That is, in a nutshell, the reality of Twitch. But... Okay, I can see that Lash is drafting, but I can't see his draft. Why can I not see his draft? Huh? Like, dude, I can literally see, like, that he's got draft ready, but I can't see it. It's very weird. I'm extraconfused.com right now. God, I'm so tilted about that. So tilted about that freaking crash. Like, legit, everything just froze. But then, like, the weird part is I thought... Like, I didn't quickly just reset the PC because I thought we were Gucci because the Windows moved again as if, like, it was still operational for a second. You sure you built that PC correct? Yep. It's been working flawlessly so far. Like, the only issue has been, like I said, when I had OBS open with the vertical stream thing. I think it's just an issue with TikTok Studio. I'm almost certain. What's my task manager look like? It's fine. Like, maybe I need to optimize a few things still with Windows 11. I'm not sure. I didn't do everything that most people would recommend. As in, like, the people who hate Windows 11 would recommend. But no, we're like 39% memory usage, 29% CPU. We're fine. The only thing I think is I did switch from Expo 1 to 2. Or was it 2 to 1? I think I went from 2 to 1. But I doubt that caused it. Alright, is Cal actually here or is he just being late? Like, bro, where is Cal? Because we do have a map draft set up. Lash has set everything up. We're just missing the Moo Boy. There you go. That's what we're waiting for. If it wants to window capture, there we go. But no, like, legit, guys. Off the stream, like I was saying, like, I last night was playing Total War Warhammer 3, maxed out every setting, no crash, played several hours. Space Marines 2. Dude, Space Marines 2, since I bought it, how many hours we logged now? 24 hours logged. No crashes. So that was very weird. That was a very awkward thing. Also just very annoying timing for that to have happened, actually. Like I said, it's annoying, like, the way it affects your progress when you're, like, streaming. Because you go from, like, 350 viewers to, like, 200, and they have to build again. And it's, like, the way that affects... So like, insights on, from, like, a getting sponsors on board standpoint. The way that looks is, like, they don't care that you had a crash, because they can't be asked to dig into the deeps of that. They just see that, like, instead of being, like, a 400 average streamer, you were 250 on that day. And then it affects other things. It's weird the way the influencer marketing works, but that's all they care about. You have Windows 24H2. I'm trying to remember, where's the easy way to check which Windows you've got? Can anyone remind me? And I can quickly glance it. Looks like we got a map pool, though. So we are going to be having King of the Hill, Dry Arabia, and Hallowed Spring. Winver in your search. Thank you. I am on, yeah, 24H2. Crap. Wait, I thought they fixed this one. I could have sworn I read the other week that they, like, had fixed the issues. Damn it. That's kind of annoying. Anyway, we have our map draft. Where is our Civ draft? Wait, what? I thought... Did I just open map draft twice? I'm having one of those days, I swear. Civ draft, there we go. Alright, lads should be getting underway with it in a second. Is that the newest version of Windows? I thought they released... I could have sworn they released a newer version. Or am I just imagining it? Like, I was adamant they released a new version. The reason, by the way, 24H2 Windows. The reason, by the way, why I went... when did this one release? Because it just might have been by default, because remember, I, like, created this PC start of December. But yeah, so the reason why I went with Windows 11 over 10, by the way, is there's very little points just installing 10 on a new system. Multiple reasons. For a start, the new AMD Ryzens are optimized to use Windows 11 better, right? Well, not better, but like no, any issues been cleaned up there, right? That would have existed before. But the other reason is that Windows 10 is in its final year of support. Right, so at the end of 2025, there'll no longer be security updates. It's like, it's not worth hanging around past that. And what's up, Caladian? Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Appreciate you hanging around for 21 months now. What a legend. Thank you, mate. But yeah, like, when it comes to Windows 10, like, it's pretty much, like, at end of life. There's no point, like, installing on new systems now, because, like, you'll just end up with security breaches. Lash versus Cow? Hell yeah. Just checking what other games we have that we can do as we go on as well, because we do have The Lemonos series, so Mia Micah versus Lemonos, should be happening apparently in about 40-ish minutes, so we should be able to maybe catch that one live, depending on how quick the series is. And then there's also Sass versus Hussein that we can look at. I don't think we'll stay live long enough for Numidan versus MSN. Numidan versus MSN is going to be 10 p.m. my time, 11 p.m. CET. But the others are Gucci. The others are catchable. Right, is YouTube live? Dude, why? Like, I thought... Wait, what? YouTube started up. What? 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 Is YouTube not live? YouTube's drunk, man. Like, all right, all platforms that we care about are live again. What I'll do... Oh, no, I can't run ads. It's already done it. Dude, I hate crashes. They mess with your flow. I was weighing up going live on, like, Sunday. I don't know if we'll do it, though. Just because, like, I like the flow of things we have right now, where Monday and Tuesday is, like, you know, we have enough time to do pretty much every round of 16 game into quarterfinals. It's really nice. And then we do semifinals, like, usually on the first day. So I don't know. I don't feel like we need to push Sunday, unless I can come up with, like, maybe some sort of show match to have. I just don't think many people want to do show matches. Everyone's going to be, like, in secret hide your strat mode, right? And this has been slow on the draft. Like, it's quite slow, but there's a good reason. Cal, like, the Delhi got picked. He's like, oh no, what do I pick now? It's no secret that basically Cal wants English, Delhi, Roos as much as he can get them. Malians as well. Malians will probably be safe to the end here. Is there a good matchup right now for Malians? Like, Delhi is a horrible matchup. Ibids, it depends on the map. And we did get, what, King of the Hill, Dry Arabia, Hallowed Springs. Cal can save HRE for Hallowed Springs. That's actually not bad. There's the Chinese pick. That's King of the Hill, right? Nah, dude, he's definitely going to run Roos on King of the Hill. The problem is if you run Roos, your opponent goes Delhi, you lose, right? So, like, China is the safe pick there. I'm wondering if Lash just gets really crafty as a result of that and, like, picks some like Ayu. He has got Abbasids as his final pick, right? Abba, like, we've seen a few picks of Abba and Hallowed Spring. It's not that terrible because of how cheap the setup is. And also, if your opponent gets baited into going water as well, you have military wing to block them. But wow, a French pick at the end from Cal. Where was the lack of value in English? I mean, the problem is you'd want to pick it on King of the Hill and the Delhi pick is there. Wait, I'm trying to remember if this is the right way around, because in our draft, we show it the other side. But he banned... Yeah, I think he banned English away from Cal, if I remember the correct way to read that. Ironically, Lash is the one who picks Malians at the end, despite it being a Cal central civ. You'd think so anyway, for a guy like who's called Cal. But we have seen that, like, Lash just has a lot of comfort with Malians. I think it actually would be fair at this stage to call Malians a comfort pick for Lash. It's very rare to see it not come out in one of his drafts. It's a decent civ. I wouldn't say like they're S tier or anything. They're like kind of mid of the pack, right? So they function reasonably well, but they're not OP busted. Okay, so let's have a look and see what we're going to be getting in game number 1. So I reckon this is probably going to be Chinese versus Delhi, unless Lash tries to get crafty and maybe whip out some, like, maybe Iobits to catch him off guard. Is that actually a catch off guard situation, though, is what I'm not sure of. Because, like, the natural flow, or expectation rather, is Delhi versus Chinese. And then Lash can, technically, you can, like, theoretically win that with Delhi by being Tower Victory. But it's skill-based. And this is, like, a good map for, like, a Chinese Barbican, but we haven't been seeing those aggressive Barbican rushes yet. You're kind of wondering if we're going to see it this time, right? What I'll do, by the way, guys, I'm going to run 1.5 minutes of ads now, so you don't have to worry about it afterwards. Because I reckon we're going to be in-game. Actually, I'll do 2 minutes. We've got 2 minutes, I reckon. And then hopefully we'll be in-game. There shouldn't be a delay, because one of the players is streaming the POV as well. Okay. I think Are they struggling to find the draft? There we go. Civ Picker's up. All right, chat. What do you think? What civs are we getting for King of the Hill? There's no way you do something crazy like Juji, right? Nah, dude. Like, you probably save Juji for maybe Dry Arabia. I think for Lash or Malians. I think Malians is more of a Lash prerogative for like Dry Arabia. You think Roos versus Ayu? Why would you pick? Why would you not just pick Delhi there? Roos just seems too good. But then again, like having French for Hallowed Springs, HRE for Dry Arabia, right? Like Cal does have the flexi to either Roos or Chinese. It's very tricky on this opening game. What? Cal picked HRE for game 1 on King of the Hill. Dude, he has Roos Chinese. 2 very desirable picks. 2 you'd absolutely expect. And he goes HRE. Now, IU HRE is like a 55-45 matchup. I don't know if this is like the right way. I think HRE are slightly favored in this matchup, right? If they just spam the archers and get them out. But was there an easier way? I don't know. I think Cal was expecting Delhi and he just kind of like roll over them with HRE, right? Because they wouldn't be able to get good sacred sites. There's only one. I think they both kind of got in each other's heads, and now as a result, like it is inferior type matchup. This is like a skill-based one, but the problem is like there are some maps where like HRE versus IU is just an insta-win for HRE because of the Dark Age Rax rushes. This is a map where, admittedly, like the gold on average spawns forward almost all the time, but I don't think it's a map where you want to Rax rush open, so you're going to be playing Age 2 into probably Lash trying to fast castle. Lash could try to play the Dervish wing. It's just not great against HRE. The reason is that the logistics wing play sucks against any civ that goes mass archers. Playing Desert Raiders can be good if your opponent isn't going archer, but like once again, I think every like issue that the Cal could run into here is solved by him playing archers. So this is probably going to be him trying for like a feudal all-in. I actually think Mindwork would be really sick for that reason. And what is up, Capital GG? Thank you very much for the resub, mate. Welcome back to the Swamp. Alright, should I move this over here? Somewhere between me and the PC. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you. Love the support from the community, man. Let's keep it up, guys. We're at like, what, 355 subs, I think, for the month? Because remember, if you forgot to resubscribe, it might not automatically do it. Especially if you're a Prime sub, by the way. Remind on the Prime subs, they always have to be done manually. And this is the place where you want to subscribe because we've got Midweek Muster after Midweek Muster after Midweek Muster. Freaking homocade. Yeah. Don't forget to listen to Balenciaga, boy. Again, what you want from the Midweek Musters? I think it's getting there. I think I said this at like the end of All Stars. Is the numbers are trending in the right direction. The goal is to keep the growth up and keep it going. Really, the big next point, the big next hurdle is, I think, getting a whiz kid on the YouTube side. Hey, sup, Marv? Thank you very much for the 5 gifted, man. Look at that, 67 subs in total. You legend. Thank you, mate. But yeah, the goal now is to get someone who like wants to help on the YouTube side. I need someone cracked it. We technically cracked that early today. This is what I mean. We already hit 360 early today when we had 16 gifted subs coming in from the legend Gherkinchuk. But that's what I mean. They run out and then it does that again. But yeah, so I think like I need to get the YouTube sorted. I need someone on the editing and YouTube managing the YouTube side, right? Like there are 2 types of YouTube creators. There are those that like the creating the content, and there are those that like editing the content, right? Like you almost any YouTuber out there you'll find, you'll be able to get them into 1 or 2 categories. They're either the person who likes being on the camera, likes doing the recording or whatever, or they're the person who likes editing and evolving it. I am the former. I love going live. I love executing the content. Hate editing it. So I need to find someone who like pads that weakness. I need to get someone on the back end to sort that stuff. There was meant to be a guy coming in, but the guy has now ghosted me for a month. So we're looking for someone new, basically. But yeah. So I think, because I think once that's sorted, the thing about Twitch is like Twitch growth doesn't come from Twitch, it comes from outside. It's like having like YouTube working well and then getting TikTok operational. These things feed back into Twitch. Because my goal, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you definitely should. I tweeted out my goal is to become 1,000 CCV streamer this year. CCV is concurrent viewership. So my average is, I'm aiming to get up to 1K. May seem like a lofty goal. It is, but you know, you shouldn't set yourself tiny goals. Not to size shame it, but like, why aim for something like easily attainable, right? You want to set yourself a goal that like is worth the effort and then figure out how to do it. So that's what we're doing. Apologies, guys. We're just taking a sec for Lash and Cow. I don't know why. Like, usually they're a lot quicker than this. But someone's slow rolling. So hopefully we'll be underway in a second. Reminder, it's going to be HRE IU opening. I'll have the predictions ready to roll in a sec. We'll probably be live. How long are we going to be live today? We were approaching 3 hours before we crashed, right? I'll probably aim to be live until like 8 p.m. CET or 9 p.m. Maybe 9 p.m. I think I aim for like 9 p.m. CET. Because I reckon we'll be out of games by then. As remember, we've got a total of how many series? 16 series that could be played. But the reality is a lot of players end up scheduling their series for like Saturday or Sunday. So we'll probably, in total for today, end up with about 8 series maximum. And also remember, actually it's not 16 series total this time around. It's 14 series total because Dumu and Louis MT got a bye because we had 30 signups of a possible 32. All right. Looks like the lads are in game. Let's get ready to get underway. I'll get predickies up. Cow game? Oh, yes. It wouldn't be a round of 32 in the midweek muster if we didn't check in on this guy. Who watches the watches? Well, move over, Cal, because I'm taking your job. That's right. This is Cal, the observer for AoE 4 tournaments, going up against Lash, pillar of the German community. It is, of course, midweek muster number 8, which means we kick off on King of the Hill, and things got weird. They got really weird, folks. Draft had Rus and Chinese on one side. It had Delhi on the other, and yet we find ourselves with an Ibid HRE matchup, one that I would say is about 55% favored towards HRE. And I did say that I wasn't expecting Iraq's Rush opening, but of course, Cal, he had to disappoint. Nah. I mean, it's not the worst of ideas. It's a bit of a gamble depending on the spawn. Luckily for Cal, Lash got a really crap spawn. I was about to say a different word to explain it. He got a 4 gold. So March into a Spearman could do a lot of damage. They do need to be quick about this. Especially considering Lash is rallying extra villagers out. So 3 on the gold, I think he could be quick enough here. Yeah, this is unfortunate. I've been noticing this with the King of the Hill spawns, and I think actually the devs need to fix it. One player, every time today actually, one player has had this type of cliffside and the others had this type. I think something's wrong with the spawn code. Because it means you're not getting the ideal rush distance one way or the other, right? Like, it's either meant to be that both players have to run around, or neither player should have to. Actually, a drastic difference on a map like King of the Hill. Count is going to arrive. Lash will be able to gather up the last of the gold he needs, though. Just needs to walk home afterwards. In fact, I don't know why he's pulling an extra villager. He actually had enough here. Yeah, he's just kind of overreacting a little bit, so giving extra idle time where not necessary. Wait, Lash, what's going on? This is not great. Kind of hoping he's going Dervish Wing just to the heal afterwards, but unlikely. Sheep haul looks pretty even. Got 14 sheep to the 11, but remember, for the HRE, they've been clubbing all the sheep. For Lash, he hasn't. So this is actually an edge for Cow. This is looking really good, man. Gold Garen underway as well. Dude, I would love to see Cal do a Mind Work build. I think Mind Work is slept on, man. This is the type of matchup where Mind Work can be very impactful. With the gold being front-facing like this, like your opponent has no option. And you aim culture. Okay, so here's the thing, folks. This matchup, I said it's like 55-45. The way it ends up that way is if HRE sends it in Feudal Age. And if they send it with Mass Archers, that is the cleanest way to get a win here. What makes it even brutally worse is the fact that the feudal play for HRE is Mass Archers, and that is the counter to Logistics Wing. Man, this is going to be harsh for Lash. Burn coming on the house as well. Looks like he's going to try to go for the repair a little. I don't think he was going for repair. I think that was just a misclick, right? It was the villagers also rallying towards the next tree. So loses the house, we'll lose the mining camp. Behind this, Cow is going to be going for the Arcan. This is fine, though. I said Mind Work, I think it can work, but the reason why Arcan can be valued here as well is because the archers. There's going to be plenty of wood to gather in this area. Weed placement, I'm not going to defend him on that element. I think Cow... Well, it's almost like he tried to min-max in his brain a bit too hard here. The best thing you could have done is put the Arcan further back by at least half a tile. And then you can just club the sheep on the corner here, get the gathering buff, get the gold. I actually think it's possible to, like, yeah, just finish off 1 or 2 sheep here and move them across the Arcan. This chapel placement is very questionable. Yeah, so, like, you'll see it when it goes up. Like, the circle is going to be here. And like I said, an extra half a tile means you would have gathered here with the buff anyway. But like I said, you in an ideal world, you just move all the sheep across. I think maybe part of the problem in his brain is he clubbed too many of them, but I disagree. It's only 3. So here we go. There you go. Look at that. It's kind of ridiculous the difference it's going to make, because it means he's going to have to just accept lumber camps on the edge here, unless he wants to lose the buff. Which, if this is going to be a long feudal, is a very big negative. It really should be. Rash, now going back out on the gold. Does have the dervishes here, so like this is actually a bad play now for Cow. What a reasonable unit that definitely does not break the dynamics of Feudal Age in its entirety. The irony is Lash could just stab him to death right now. Wow. Oh my god, he actually almost lost the dervishes there. That was criminal. Good reactions out of Cow. Lash is just so resistant to the idea that he needs to build units. Loses a villager! Oh no. Not like this. Lash is genuinely just trying to fast castle him. Cow already has archers on the way. Stabs him. Gotta be careful with these dervishes. Yeah, Cow just needs more spears, and I think he has indeed got them on the way. Like, this isn't gonna work. Lash needs to build units. Finally, he realizes that he goes for the worst one possible. He's trying to cheese his way through this by using Desert Raider and heal spamming. The problem is Cow already has archers on the way. He shifts out. Oh man, I feel like actually if Lash had been shiving out in the first place, this would look a lot better. He wasted too much time here. Focus fire coming in. Villager will just about survive that. Scout, big mistake made there, does give over a sheep. Archers are now here, though. Spearmen aren't even trying to kill anything, they're just trying to kill the mining camp. Can you get a villager? I mean, that should be enough. Yeah, that's a worker kill. And this is hurting to watch. Lash is now trying to go into Horseman. Cow does still have a few spearmen, though. At this point, I think you just get ready with a blacksmiths and get your stilled arrow going. Farms being added. Cow, please. This is why the wood line would have been nice. Oh, he can't add another lumber camp, right? He's just kind of becoming a bit inefficient for a guy who doesn't have wheelbarrow as well. Needs to keep this pressure up, though. This is the obnoxious thing about Dervish. As bad as it looks for Lash, Cow can't trade efficiently because if he takes 20 damage, the enemy takes 20 damage, one of them is going to be healed off, the other is not. Why does Cow have less villagers? I can tell you exactly why Cow has less villagers. I've just tried to not be brutal and focus on it. We've cast Cow multiple times in this midweek muster, and if there is one gaping issue in his play that always comes up, it is idle TC time. Look at it right there. It keeps happening to him. He really just needs... I think he needs to train that, man. Like, it's actually one of his biggest weaknesses that's stopping him from improving. Like, I will see him like 10 minutes in a game, 2 or 3 villages behind. And the reason is because, like, here's the weird thing. There'll be players at Diamond rank that do have less idle villager time than he does. And the reason is he's at that transition point where he's trying to optimize his eco, right? He's trying to not invest more than 50 food at any given moment into TC production, right? Like, how many players right now would start queuing up, like, extra villages, right? You queue up 4, right? He's trying to optimize, but because he hasn't got it in his muscle memory to keep switching to the TC every 20 seconds, like, it's just an inherent, like, subconscious thing at this stage. Because he's not at that stage, he keeps hemorrhaging like this. Despite the fact he's killed 3 workers, he only finds himself neck and neck on villager count. Now, you could argue it's worth it if you can keep killing villagers, and I agree. But against the best players, that's difficult to do. Then again, this matchup, we talked about how it should be really good for him. Lash has now been forced to go into archers. So after all that effort to try and go fast castle, Lash now has to admit to play the edge. Just going up, that's not going to work either. This is many archers, you just die. Swimner going to go in. Nice pinch on both of the horsemen. I mean, he's killing so many workers right now. This is ridiculous. This rush on an outpost might just lose Lash the game. Gets it up, but at what cost? Dervishes could die as well. Like, if you just target them now with the archers, it's even better. Instead, he goes for the greed, and all of a sudden, now 11 worker kills. Cow is annihilating Lash in this one. Also adding in the men-at-arms, just a more effective dive tool here. Also a frustration, just having a few men-at-arms is really nice, because then the archers just end up A-clicking the wrong unit. Cow looking like he's on top of the world. The only thing he really needs to do now is consider going for a ram. In the meantime, he's going to go for more heads, though. Archers dive in. Another worker kill. He can get multiple ones here. The Dervish is getting targeted. I mean, that's practically game. If he gets the second Dervish, there's no way. Slightly overstays his welcome. Cow, at this stage, just keep attacking. Right, I don't think you let up. Don't go castle age. Do not think about greed. This could be big. Cow struggles to get out of that first round. Usually ends up against really tricky opponents. We had him up against B. Can't remember who else, but it's been quite a hard layer of opponents he had to try and get through. But right now, Cow, man, he could start off 2025 in style. Lash, pretty much kind of a shock and awe moment, right? At this point, your ears must be ringing because this was not what he was expecting. Siege Engineering now coming in to make things even worse. If he starts losing buildings, he's pretty much dead, right? Like, this gathering here is not sustainable. Few farms now laid in. We still have the awkward lumber camps, but he's still getting the buff on all 17 woodworkers. And what is up, Voker? Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Appreciate it, mate. Remember, guys, we're watching live or later. Be sure to be coming through and dropping those subs in. It supports me on my journey as a content creator. And it also means you get 100+ hours of content a month without having to worry about ads. No, the only ad you'll have to worry about is the one where I tell you to remember to subscribe. Oi, oi, oi. Are you kidding me? Cow, this timing. Are you actually kidding me? He just moved out here. That's a big oof. So Lash isn't going to be able to get the gathering for free. Ram, in the meantime, moves in as Outpost gets denied. A lot of full production here as well. You can just deny this and stop your opponent getting an army in the first place. And wait, Cow, no. We went from genius to Like, wait, what? No way. Lash is running low on food, right? He's got 11 sheep, but half of them are clubbed. So probably about, what, 800? Oh my god, there we go. Immediate GG. The Spinman came back. Game number 1. And our very own Cow is looking to transition from observer to pro player. Question now is whether he can close it out in 2. I'll see you in the next one. Lakat Madatag! Cow turned up. Oi, 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 oi. Who saw that one coming? Well, let me check predictions and we'll find out. 22% of you. That's all. Where was the belief? Where was the belief? This man watches pros. He takes away some things from watching those pros. He knows some things. Put some respect on the name. All right. So Let's get ready for game number 2. We've got either Dry Arabia or Hollow Spring. Let me just tick them off for you. So we've had Ibids plus the HRE. Roost Chinese French. French should be reserved for Hallowed Spring. That leaves Roost Chinese variability for Dry Arabia. You want to focus on where you can get the best pick here. I think actually Delhi is pretty comfortable against any of these on Dry Arabia. I say comfortable, you have to outskill your opponent in the French matchup. Before this series, you probably confidently thought you could. After what we just saw in game 1, probably not thinking that as much. I think still Lash wants Malians for that map, though. If you go Malians, like, Cal can just go Chinese, right? Chinese or French. French is awkward to dive with. But I think Chinese can work quite well there. I reckon Lash is going to comfort pick Dry Arabia Malians. And that'll leave us with, what, Delhi versus French map 3? Which would be a wacky one. Cal's best civ is French. Is it his best civ now? He's been spamming the Delhi, right? Dirty Delhi spammers. Let's have a look. And Magical Cow. 302nd in the world right now. Yeah, that's true, actually, yeah. Well, historically, most played is French, right? But I don't think recently it is. In fairness, he has, like, a fairly decent roster that he plays. He just doesn't play that much. Man, he's been grinding the last day or two, though. Abbasid, Delhi. Been playing some 2v2s as well. Alright. Let's have a look and see what they drafted. Wait, are they not drafted yet? They've been very slow today in their drafting. I don't know why. I don't know what's slowing them down. Hopefully it should be underway in a second. Yeah, very weird. Spamming Biz to counter Delhi. Why do you think it counters Delhi? How many people think Biz counters Delhi? One's if you think Biz counters Delhi. Two's if you think Delhi countered Biz. Are you just doing like, are you doing Cataphracts build? I could see that working below like Conk quite well. I think Delhi's like a very technical civ, so if you're not like Conk level, maybe it's more vulnerable. I think it's 55-45 Biz. I feel like Delhi is stronger than that. Because Delhi can apply a lot of pressure with Ghazi, and that forces you to play H2. So you have to then build Limitane, which you just don't want to build. You can't just, like, against a high-level Delhi player, you can't just fast Castle Kata. And that means you play a longer feudal. The longer the feudal, you think it's better because you get, like, all the system buffs. You'd think that that's good, right? But the problem is, in return, your opponent's getting all the techs. It's obnoxious just how much value they get out of all those techs. Okay. Is Cow, like... Dude, has Cow just gotten up from his PC to go and splash his face? Like, is he in disbelief on that win? Because we're a little bit slow getting this second game going. What do you guys reckon? Do you reckon Cow's going to take it 2-0? Cow said he needs dinner? Dude, better not. You scheduled a series, you mother ducker. Play. This guy sits there observing in an EGC tournament while simultaneously playing Po2. He can play a series and eat, okay? Oh yeah, I need to mark that one. I think this is going to be an uploadable series. That was crazy. I mean, in fairness, like I start to make more sense of why he called himself Cow if this is the case, right? Because he's grazing. We figured it out. Like he's just like Lash is like, you ready to draft? He's like, moo. Okay, I don't know what that means, but let's do it. Painful to watch series? Yeah, like I'm gonna at him in a second. Let me check. I'm gonna check with Lash and Cow. Get a move on. Dude, I think he beat Lash, and it was such a heart attack shock what just happened moment that his brain has just switched off. Thank you, Cool Jets. Thank you. Oh man, a year of being partnered. Yeehaw. Question is, when we look back a year from now, will we be a 1K average viewer streamer? That's the real goal. Onwards and upwards, my friends. In fact, one goal I set myself this year was to get 2 long-term sponsors for the channel. I don't know, I'm feeling confident about that. We'll see, but I've got a good feeling. All right, Cal responded, so his ass, yeah, he is in. All right, they're in lobby. We should be starting a sec. Sorry about that, folks. What I'll do is I'll run a minute of ads now, so we don't have to worry about it in. Okay, actually, that might be too long. Oh, whatever. KP new T90? I don't know about that. Maybe. I mean, dude, KP new KP. Hopefully, we're able to grow this into something big. Like I said, you know, the goal is to be able to provide for the family and then also be able to expand the content bigger and bigger. Like I said, one of the big challenges really with AoE 4 is figuring out how to get people from playing to viewing. Because that's actually where AoE 2 has... AoE 2, StarCraft, these games have an inherently bigger edge over 4. There's not as many people watching 4 content as there are watching the other game's content. And it's trying to figure out why that is. Let me just flip the score. Look at our boy. All grown up and winner in games. He took such a long break after that first game. I think he needed to walk around the house, headbutt a few things, and figure out how the hell did this happen? Because, guys, Lash is losing, Cow is winning. Going into this was not the expectation. Lash definitely the favored seeded person. Maybe he can get back on track here. Game number 2 is going to be Hallowed Spring, a.k.a. Himeyama 3.0. And we've got a deli pick for Lash. On the other side, Cow taking to the Roos. A comfort pick for sure for this lad. One that has quite often led to his downfall quite quickly. In fact, I believe in the Atacama week, he opened with Roos, and it did not end pretty. Let's see if this one can put a nicer look on his face. Roos definitely an interesting choice in this map. We've seen a few players utilize it fairly well. I want to say, for example, Stopper picked it quite a bit here, right? Like in the last KPMM. The double hunting cabin start is really nice because usually you get these fatter tree lines behind your TC. So he's already getting 33 and 34 trees underneath these. So good gold gen there. Nobody is going to be going water on the opening. Delhi don't tend to rush to it as much. And at the same time, Roos never really want to be going fishing. Even if there is a total of 4,000 food in this pond. Did we get predictions up? I'm pretty sure we did. No, let's start the predickies. I knew I forgot to do something. 2 minutes predictions, guys. Get them in now. Because last game, it was 78% predictions on Lash. Now, in that one, I think the matchup favored Cal. So if we follow that logic, this should go the other way around now, and everyone should just think Cal is the god. Definitely off to a good start with the sheep haul. Looks like it's going to be 14 sheep for him, 12 for Lash. And that's because, remember, when you go for this double hunting cabin opening, I mean, even just one hunting cabin, you can afford that second scout. It's a big enough map for that as well. It is interesting to see them both pick civs that don't really leverage the fishing, though. That is going to be a bit more tricky for Cal. because it means that Lash can get value out of these sacred sites very swiftly, while because Cal hasn't gone for a dock, he can't counterplay with his Lodgers. People banned this map so much last KPMM. Yeah, Kevayu. I mean, it's a new map. It's one they're not familiar with. I think it's also just a map where things like Delhi felt very dominant. What I was surprised by is so far we haven't seen too many French picks, but then again, we haven't seen too much of this map in general. I think French is really good on this map. Golden Gate coming in. Dome of Faith on the other side, so nothing unorthodox here. Likely from Cal, we're going to be expecting a fast castle build. And then from Lash, it's going to be probably just try to pressure and then mirror into castle anyway. What I'd love to see actually from Cal right now is he's finished his gathering of sheep. He's arrived outside the enemy base. There's nothing else to gather. In fact, you need to be very careful in this TC. Luckily, it looks like the villagers hadn't brought back the wood, so no threat there. But what you want to do now, come back across the map, shove these deer in. Get these deer underneath your TC, and you'll have everything you need for mass horse archers. What's scary about that, by the way, the reason why I quite rate the Rus play highly on this map is if you look, I said it's a bit like Himiyama. What I mean by that isn't just the pond. The pond is a bait. Get it? Because you use bait to get fish. No, no. The bigger detail on this map is the exposure. There's a lot of angles of approach here for things like horse archers, French knights, right? These units will thrive in this environment, similar to Himiyama, because it's just very hard to wall yourself in. It's kind of crazy, actually, how different a lot of maps feel ever since the Season 9 changes to walls, making it so much harder to just kind of like anchor yourself in safely, right? Like, that change was so fundamental to the core of the game. It just made certain maps that felt cruisable for civs feel almost impossible, right? Like, think about Himiyama a year ago. There were just civs where you're like, oh, yeah, I can just exist here. I'm not meant to be favored here, but I wall up so quick. Now, it feels almost impossible to do against the skilled opponents. Pro Scouts getting queued up by Lash. Going to take a while to get there, and, well, it looks like Cal is actually going to actively go for the Pro Scouts himself, so he doesn't want to do the deer shove in. I think what you're going to see him do is, like, gather the nearby deer for the first wave, so you have the better gathering rate, and then run across to your opponent's side of the map and take away from him. Lash is going to want to get in some Ghazi. Ghazi is just a solid counter to the eventual horse archers, but it's also a great counter in the meantime to the scouts. Actually, what have people been banning this map instead of Hallowed Spring? I forgot to check that when we had a look at the stats. So these two, they actually prioritize Gorge and Lakeside. Cal banned Gorge. Good on him, man. Yeah, I think, like, the interesting part is actually we haven't had much Pigeons view so far. That might be kind of more of a player-specific thing. It's like when we had Puppy Paw and WoW, I'm like, dude, they love Pigeons view. They thrive on that map. But yeah, Lakeside is a ban prior is no surprise either. That map feels very odd at the moment. People are going to have to get used to it. There you go. Cal taking the safe deer we talked about. But this is where you want to split up now. Like, if you go for different deer packs, the Ghazi play can't block you everywhere. That's the whole value of it. Lash is going to have to contest the castle play. This is tricky, though. Like, I think his Ghazi timing was quite slow, right? Because he unbanked the Scholar. He didn't keep him inside to pump quickly, which means your blocker against Pro Scouts is a little bit weaker. I'm wondering, like, is he looking for an efficient Sanctity timing? With 57 seconds out, it feels like that's what he's targeting. So he's probably going to rush for the Sacred Site soon. Good news is you could actually follow that up by dot placement. That gives you archer ships to protect this as a win condition. That also then gives you food. I actually think Lash's win condition here is lock these Sacred Sites in, protect them with Navy, and then the Horse Archer play is irrelevant, right? Because if you wall this up, if you've got archer ships, there's no play that the Rus can make. That is a long timer you'd have to be debating around, but it does give you a clear pressure point on your opponent. Lash, oh no, in desperation, rushing out into the berries at probably the worst possible time. High Trade House is coming in. Get your numbers in, folks, because this one looks actually fairly decent. Wait, did he just bait and switch him? He did, because now you can just come in with the other scout and yoink away. Oh, Cal, come on. Not like this. Also, another not like this detail. Looks like he actually idled the TC again. We talked about this for Cal. It's a tricky detail. He's working on it. But sometimes he's just too focused on remaining absolutely efficient around villager production that he skips. And it looks like he skipped on, what? I want to say, is that half a villager? Yeah, about half a villager. Lash about to complete Pro Scouts in the meantime. Yeah, Cow hasn't really gotten that much off the map. He gathered, what, 3 deer here? 1? None. Actually, yeah, none. So 4 deer so far for Pro Scouts. I mean, it at least pays for itself at that point, sure, but it doesn't feel very useful, right? Like, he's down to 8 sheep. He has at least got extra deer coming in. We've got 57 trees underneath the high trade house. So you're probably looking at about 1.5 relics, somewhere in like 128 region. March ranges have been added in, so we've got the horse archers on the way. Sacred Sight's now getting locked by Lash, though, and he's not far behind in his own tech timing. 84 gold. Okay, so it's actually 168 gold by the looks of it. I can't help but feel that Cal's not in a very good position here. I don't think he really got enough out of Pro Scouts. And now, like, you don't really have a way of blocking Sacred Sights. The horse archers are really slow to come out here. In fact, what? He's going straight into Warrior Monks. That is a very early switch into Warrior Monks. Usually you want to scale up to like 8 to 10 horse archers first, because you're looking for a damage point, right? I think for Cal, he was paranoid about Ghazi. Ghazi are a great counter to horse archers after all. Which, Ghazi's going to prove a nuisance on the back. 168 gold, man. Every time you think, oh yeah, it's only going to be like 1.5 relics, it's always more. House of Lenin now coming in from Lash. Villager lead is building. Lash now 2 ahead. Cal, I mean, dude, if you're going to build these buildings, they need to be used. The Warrior Monks are only now being queued. They could have been coming out, like, what, about 20 seconds earlier? He's also not producing horse archers. It's getting harder and harder to believe in this build from Cal. So what do you do now? Because the whole concept on horse archers is mass. If you don't have mass, you don't have potential. If he could rage, that's probably his one out. And then prep a better army of infantry, right? So you just want to scale crossbows. Dangerous to do against the Delhi, but at least preps you for war elephants. Also, you know, yeah, Pake's going to be annoying, but it gives you an opening. Instead, we've got spears getting added in. The horse archer is just still not really finding the real targets. Going after the scouts is like the worst thing to be doing here. Needs worker kills. Like, funnily enough, worker kills are much easier to find, right? Half the HP and also not able to run away. I don't know, man. This is like... So the weird part to me is I believe it was Cal who delayed game number 2. I don't know if he was eating or if that was a meme, whatever he's doing. I'm pretty sure it was Cal, because Lash was at the PC waiting. And Cal was the one that won game 1. Like, you could argue, actually, like, if you lost the game and it's really weird, you want to delay game 2, right? Because there is such a thing as momentum in esports, in any sports. It's a true thing. And Cal disrupted his own momentum. It's made this game look a little bit weird. He has at least got relic benefits coming his way, right? Pulling 2 extra home. That's going to be an advantage for him. The Sacred Sights continue to tick, though. And Lash is making the right call here. He's going into Crossbowman. It's all about the funnel in the center now, right? Meanwhile, Cal... I guess if you build spears, you don't have to protect home is the logic here. Alright, 1's if you think Cal's going to win this, 2's if you think Lash is going to take it. Thank you, thank you. Year as a partner. Good feeling. Because I'm like struggling to see the picture right now for Cal. We've got Spear Blob coming, but that's going to get countered by crossbows. At least be able to find some eco now, but the Ghazi just quick to react and already vetted up. Sniper Scholar's nice. The Villager's the more important detail, though. Does get that kill. I do wonder if it would have been worth it to go deeper, though. Like, Lash was greedy. He didn't get textiles. Spent a long time killing the Scully. He probably could have killed 2 additional workers if he gone east. Obviously, we have the gold vision. Cow doesn't. Maybe he doesn't expect his opponent to be over here, but, I mean, wherever there's berries, there's going to be deli, right? Sacred Site decap is at least now on the way. And he should be able to get that, actually. Ooh. Maybe not. I mean, you'll kill the scout eventually, but it's the time it buys, right? Ghazi now on the way as well. Finally have survival techniques. Another thing that was just kind of missing a long time for Cal. A guy who went pro scouts just didn't have that extra food gathering all this time. So we'll be able to continue decapping. This is really important. Getting rid of that timer gives you some runway here. In a situation where you have more relics, you've got the high trade house, and we now also have 2 TC play from the Roost. Unfortunately, he didn't commit quick enough. Didn't get the cleanup. He's on the north side. Now, Lash, technically, you should have been able to stop this, but I think he just got bait and switched. Remember, the pond is a lot smaller than it appears. You have to look at the minimap to see just how big the shallow is. Lash can still block this. He's getting ready. He's going to march in. Cow hesitates and backs off, though. Goes in for the brace now. Crossbows are there. Sacred Site timer is going to be protected, so Lash continues to trek down towards that win condition. Yeah, Cal, I mean, this crossbow massing, right? Like, you're losing this game. The problem is, Cal, if he got this decap, the game is very different because he's 2 TC. That's an advantage. Now, being 2 TC is a disadvantage. Right? By the time the TC returns its value, the time is going to be down to like 1.5 minutes. Lash playing for a clear-cut win condition. War Elephants. A bold choice to build War Elephants into crossbow spearmen. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Like, actually, Tower Elephants would be a lot better. Maybe he's worried about Cow switching into Knights here. I mean, in fairness, when you get in a fight, right, it's at least something to absorb shots so your crossbows don't have to, but yeah, compared to like getting a Tower Elephant, it doesn't make much sense. Slow chase down here, Cow. We'll look to get that decap then. Lash's numbers are a bit deceptive, by the way. That really needs to be emphasized here. 10 of them are not really military, remember? I'm still shocked by the War Elephant choice, right? That's like being challenged to a duel in the middle of the, like, you know, the Arabian desert and choosing a chocolate sword as your weapon of choice. Maybe like you're flopping around a wet noodle, you know? It's not going to hold. Next trying to wrap around the back. Menarm's now arriving. However, Lance is still alive. He can jump on top of the crossbows. This can be big. Nice micro. Baits away the remaining spears. And Lash continues to defend the Sacred Site win condition. Military lead now starting to build. Expensive fight here. Lance is getting taken out. The crossbow mass as well. Cow does have an edge there. So realistically, he should long term be able to win this fight. Just need to get the troops across now. What on the way? And I've got to wonder, Lash. Now that the crossbow numbers are lower, is this elephant good enough? Oh, God, who am I kidding? Dude, it's meant to be counted. It's going to be good enough. It's such a weird build from Lash. Like, he sees mass crossbows and builds everything that gets counted by crossbows. And yet, still, it doesn't... like, I don't know, man. Dude, Deli is just wild to me. Like, you have to look at this at some point and go, how is he still doing this? It's the eco-tax. He can afford more. So much more, right? That with the pro scouts, like that is why he's able to essentially punt weak-ass units into the counter and come out ahead. What a delightful civ. Oh, God. Mass Ghazi as well. Just a smart read here. Didn't really see Ghazi that often in mid-castle. Sacred Site timer now down to 3 minutes. War Elephant's going to march in. If he's being ignored, he's doing so much damage. And this retreat is going to cost Cal the game. The crossbows are now exposed. He needs to fight. He can't just run away like this. Timer ticking. Frontline Finnan. And that War Elephant completely untouched. The Ghazi dive on by. Good micro by Cow, just trying to focus fire down the heavily armored units. Lash content with a stalemate there. I mean, if you can really call it that, I'd say it's just him winning more and more now. We've got mass heals from the Scholars. Cow, I just don't see the way now. Right, after all is said and done, the worker kills have added up. These raids just kept coming in. Means he's never built an economy lead. Just keeps getting caught. I think there was a Lance that snuck in here. It must have actually killed a lot more than we expected. And this is ridiculous. He does at least have some passive income that's closing the gap. These exposure points are starting to worry me. Spinman now marching north side. And you're seeing why I warned that Delhi is like an S tier pick on this map. The Sacred sites are so close together that even with a slow infantry comp, you can get here in time. Cow. I mean, he has, what, 5 spears here? I don't think there's any getting away this time. Scholars, oh my god, the Ghazi was not dying there. I think there's 6 spears attacking him, and the heal was so fast, the Ghazi almost just sustained. It's just ridiculous. What a civ. Very balanced, much fair. Ghazi also just wrapping around to block any berry gathering. Cow at least has the villager lead again, but we're now a minute and 20 seconds away. Okay, someone justify the state of this civ to me. I'll wait. I think I'll be waiting a long time. It's really hard to justify Delhi in their current state, right? Like, this civ is just ridiculously obnoxious. Put capital R on that. And what the hell are these walls? It makes it even worse. Like, before you at least pause the timer, now the army's going to be in position before you even begin a decap. So looks like we're going to be going to a game 3 on, was it Gorge? Dry Arabia, right? I mean, he's got French or Chinese. The problem I see there is, like, Malians, maybe? I think we're going to see Malians out of Lash. Very much a comfort pick for him, and a decent matchup, actually, against French. Unless French go, like, 2TC. But I've been seeing some interesting aggro builds from Malians that can ruin French for that. For now, we'll stay focused on this game. Game 2, where the Delhi have ruined the Rus. Oh my god, there's just so many Ghazi left over. Like, gold claps, you killed the elephant. But you know, like, elephants are so 2000 Dumbos, and now we're all about Elsa. And it's going to snow with wins here for Lash. Delhi, once again, getting a big dub. Whoa. All right. GG versus Delhi, then balance shifts a bit. Oh, we talked about Biz Delhi earlier. I still think it's Delhi favored. But let's go ahead and mark that one up. So that is going to be a win for the Delhi. And we get a third game decider between the two. Reminder, by the way, we've cast a few series today. We still have a few to come. So looking at the schedule, we will also today be doing... Let me just double check. We should have SAS versus Hussein. There's also going to be Numidan versus MSN at 10 p.m. my time, so in 4 hours. I don't think we'll necessarily be live that long, because that is quite deep in the evening. And we'll probably be out of games by then. We do also have Mia Micah versus Lemonos. So we'll be looking to do Mia Micah versus Lemonos as well. And then we'll look to do SAS versus Hussein, rather. So we've got at least 2 more series after this one we're going to be casting. So if you haven't already, make sure you at least follow on the channel so you know when we go live, because we'll be back Monday as well, when we're casting practically all of the round of 16s. And then we'll have quarterfinals on Tuesday. Okay, so let me mark off the civs, because I really think we're probably looking at Malians versus... Do you China that? I think you can China Pro Scouts 2TC that. Maybe. If it's Chinese versus Yuji, Yuji have a really good all-in timing against China. So, on Dry Arabia as well. It's a little bit risky. Safety-wise, I think like also where you're probably going to see Cal feel most comfortable is going to be French. And if Lash knows that, then Marlians just makes a lot of sense. Very hard Civ to dive, right? All the choke points they create. Donzo's just very efficient traders. Let's have a look here and see what we're getting. Is he taking another break? He better not be. Well, we haven't had a draft yet. This goddamn guy. He's like, gotta make sure I get my time on the main stage on KP's channel. I'm just gonna go for a bio break quickly, maybe make an omelet. I'll be back soon. Japan buff, hopefully. Delhi's been awful for years. Let them have their free... Wait, what? Did you really just say Delhi's been awful for years? Do you truly believe that? I think... My feeling is like... Okay, let me know what you think. Do you think Delhi has, like, been crap in the last 2 years? Press 1. Or 2 is if you think Delhi's always been relevant for the last 2 years. Because, I feel like Delhi has always been relevant for 2+ years. They've, like, the elephants haven't been relevant until now, sure, but, like, anything else about that Civ, come on. Yeah, when Ghazi was not there. Dude, like, before Ghazi was there, H3 could count them, right? But then what? New PC looks good. Thank you, Zefly. Love this baby. Whoop, whoop. Yo, should we put something different on the fan? I do love my horse, but should we put something different on there? You ready? What should we put? What should we put? Shall we put a zealot? Yes. When I was a kid, I used to always call them zealots. A Civ flag might be cool. Me. Can't share my bias. It'd be a Japanese flag, right? You guys see that? Whoopsie. Kind of banged the desk there. I don't know if that's... It's got... The problem is it's got a black background on it because it's PNG-ified. Let's do the dragon. The dragon is very clear. Let's pay out the predictions. So that game was a Lash win. I believe they're in lobby now, so you should be starting in just a sec. I was going to run ads, but I think it just automatically ran very short ads. Bit of a pain in the ass for that, isn't it? Alright, game's now loading. So, they went with... Of course. See, dude, I know my players. Lash went Malians. But I like what Cal done. Instead of comfort picking French, he went with Chinese. This is like a decent matchup for Cal, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I'm curious, like, if we check statistics on this as well. Highest level. Chinese versus Malians. Ooh, 42.9%. Is that really that indicative, though? That sounds kind of incorrect. On older patches, Chinese more favored. What's your thoughts on the current state of Japan? What do they need to be S tier? Their economy is way too weak. They need more options. Like, the biggest problem actually for them is that they are in a crossbow meta as a Civ that don't have crossbows. That's their biggest issue. Well, thank you, Total. That's really where fixes need to start. So either fix crossbows or give them something else. But until one of those issues is solved, they're always just going to be a meme one strat Civ. The Psycho done it. He's going to make Cal kill his own people. One and all. Welcome back to the deciding game between Lash and Cal in Midweek Muster number 8. It's in a very interesting series, but it comes down to this. A comfort pick for the Malians on Lash. On the other side, Cal, I got to give it to him. This was not what I was expecting, but I'm happy I see it. I thought we were going to be getting French. French, to me, would have been a comfort pick for Cal more than anything else. But instead, he tries to be strategic. So we're going to be getting Chinese versus Malians. A matchup where China can actually just lean into an eco boom to out-mass Malians. Because there's nothing a Malian player hates more than multi-TC. But you know what I hate more than Marine Lord spawns? Lash spawns. I absolutely despise Lash spawns. What the f... What is this? Are you kidding me? Okay, dude, Lash had Juji. He should have picked Juji. Could you imagine how quickly this would be a GG if he'd picked Juji? Unbelievable. What is up, G.I. Joe? Thank you very much for the Prime sub. Appreciate you. Welcome to this one, mate. Make sure you get those subs in, folks. Dude, I'm not exaggerating. The other pick that Lash had was Juji. If he'd picked Juji here, that would have been... God, what is it? 84 food and 50 gold. He would have got 84 food and 50 gold for that. Right next to his base. Unbelievable. Yeah, the one wolf that would have stopped the Medigarden, right? You want to see him just defensive landmark and just protect this? Yeah, it'd be great, because then later on he can just trade. He's going to have it all. Cal is going to have a big moan about Dry Arabia after this one, I reckon. So we will be getting Imperial Academy beginning. Is there a world in which you Barbican? I actually really like Barbican in this matchup on a delay. The whole idea is you'd rotate around the back, you'd set up the Barbican here, and it blocks everything. And if Lash doesn't go for an early outpost, there's no protection either. A little bit surprised Cal didn't try for like a Rax beginning. That's quite popular actually against Malians. Instead, just plays for his greed. And by the way, I think we have a Barbican drop. You like these spawns, at least a different gameplay as resources always secure? I'm going to take the other angle and say spawns like this are why Dry Arabia can actually be the opposite of what it's intended to be, which is an incredible map for competitive play. Because, like, I have had way too many cases where a player has basically said they lost a series because of a Dry Arabia spawn. Sometimes it does this type of extreme. But what you can get in return, and I think what Cal is going for in return, is this just Barbican safely at home into 2TC? Because if it was Barbican aggressively, you'd be like walking some villages over, you'd be building some production buildings on the way. Instead, he's just going to greed up. Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I quite like the idea of aggro here. I think China has for a long time been perceived as a greedy eco-civ. Actually, for a while now, hasn't really functioned that way, right? Like, a lot of the time, actually, China plays opposite to that idea. They play aggressively. We've seen a lot of all-in type plays where you just go archers into the lane, you can new, you go for ram rush timings. Just a lot of powerful, aggressive things you can actually do with this civ. Yeah, Cal has scouted this, by the way. He knows about the spawn. Final sheep haul is going to be, what, 10 to... I think 10. God, I gotta get used to my new key bindings. I switched it around a bit. Yeah, so neck and neck on sheep at least. And yeah, it's just gonna be a safe Barbican. So we are just getting 2TC Song. I mean, Cal knows how annoying 2TC play is for Malians. You have to remember Cal has played a lot of Malians in the past, but like this to me is a bit weird, given the potential opening you had. Looks like Lash is going for Bro Scouts. Not the worst of ideas. You take the deer away, your opponent doesn't have much. Or is this barbecue? It's all about just protecting for the stone gathering. This is a pretty atypical Chinese Barbican for 2TC play. You'll see this one like practically every 2TC rush game. Because then you just build the TC behind, you just hunker down, you play for the mid game. Problem is, like, are you going to have enough food for that mid game, right? Like, we do have Pro Scouts already being queued up. And Warrior Scouts already upgraded on the way. Lash actually probably could have got a worker kill out of that. Decided to actually back off early. So what you want to do now, if you're Lash, is you just want to camp both deer stacks for when the enemy scout comes over. You don't want to allow a deer shove in. If anything, you want to push the deer the other way, further away, and then kill them. How do you get food? Well, I mean, whenever you have a BBQ, the way you get food is you put it on the BBQ. He has to put this food on the barbecue. Now, some of them are naturally just moving towards it because deer, obviously, getting a little bit cold in the winter. But they're not going to get close enough. It's actually obnoxious how much you heal them. Oh, I've been shot in the face. It's okay. I grew up playing Call of Duty. I'll just regen that. Now, funnily enough, actually, what Cal wants to keep an eye out for is if Lash goes to that deer, you want to quit Garrison. If you quit Garrison, you'll likely be able to get the Warrior Scout kill. You really need to. Pro Scouts is now in. So Lash will begin harvesting soon. The goodies are coming on home. Cal, unfortunately, the timing actually didn't work out for him. He'd already finished what he needed for Stone. So wasn't in position for a Garrison. And yes, the regen is obnoxiously fast. Reminder, it used to be even faster. Do you guys remember Wakanda Forever meta? Where you just built like 6 to 8 of these Warrior Scouts? And that was pretty much good enough to win you the game. Yeah, that was a dark time for AoE 4. We've had a lot of dark times, haven't we? So Cal has at least got his second TC. Wait, what? Why? This is a very weird thing to do at your town center. Can you guys guess why you don't do this with town centers? Watch what happens. There's going to be a awkward, teensy tiny issue. No, it's not just taxes. It's also supervision. Admittedly, he's not supervising the goal, but if he's looking to fast castle now, he should be. Right? You can't supervise a town center. This is rough. I think the other thing that I don't like is, like, you know, he hasn't faltered so far with it, but it might come up because it did in game 1. Remember game 1, Cal got distracted and skipped on TC production. So after beginning the series like that, he chooses to lean into a Civ that is going to be all about TC production. And he's already skipping on both town centers. Oh my god. Actually, between them, that's already added up to over 10 seconds. This is worrisome because now that eco lead you're meant to be escalating isn't going to be coming in very aggressively if you keep skipping like this. The second TC's not even operating. Oh, man. Cal, this is kind of a bit of a rough start. I think this is what's struggling to inspire confidence for me. On top of that, he only has berries in the corner to work with, right? He's already set up a granary. Maybe he thinks about farm transition early. Meanwhile, Lash can just think about fast castle. I think you just fill 3 cow ranches and go castle. You don't actually need that many sofa to break your enemy here. So keep in mind that cow is down to only 7 sheep. So like it or lump it, it will be berries. Oh, this still pains me. If he just staggered the TC, right, one away, it would be fine. Cal should know his timing, right? Like, he played a lot of Malians. He should have that feeling of how quickly this is coming from Lash. He's at least producing vills. Occasionally. Like, this is the thing. Song is going to ramp you up into elite quickly, as is the Imperial Academy, because it adds 4 extra eco units to your count. But the gaps are kind of awkward, right? Like, you're not reaching peak as quickly as you should. Meanwhile, Lash soon ready to peak. You have to remember that although there's a village elite building, if Cal keeps skimping and forgetting to produce villages, it just adds merit into this ranch play, evening him up, right? Like, these ranches right here, the 5th one coming up, this is worth like 10 villages already. So he's neck and neck, actually. Then you add in the extra passive income of Mansa plus double pimp mine. All of a sudden, the Malians aren't looking too far behind. Cow boom versus cow... Oh, Beal, please. Yes, we're about to find out which type of cow is better. Natural grown cow? Wait, actually, no. Natural grown cow? Or battery farm cow? Is that what they call them? They call them like battery chickens, right? Cow's like, if I just hit it 23 more times. Man, cows really are tanky, aren't they? Which is kind of impressive for a poor creature that if you pushed it on its side, it can't get up. Doesn't really seem like it's 23 health worth, 24 health worth of defense, does it? So field line now coming. Cow is mirroring the tech at least, so this is good. Because he can try to pump lances. Food isn't crazy for him, right? Like I said, it's berries. Then again, actually, check this. Well played. Cal was able to actually claim 4 of the deer in here and wall them in. that's going to be very important. That's actually a healthy 1,400 food to work with. Astronomical clock down now also on the way up. Okay, so Cal actually isn't dead, guys. This is I'm impressed. I was a little bit worried. I thought the gaps were going to emerge. I didn't think he was going to have enough food for this. But 1,400 extra food is pretty important on 2TC. And of course, he does have all the berry back spawns as well. I remember, once you have about a 20 villager lead, you've eclipsed the value of Fulani at least. Now, long term, it's going to be a problem, right? Because like when you're both pop maxed, the Fulani's better. But that's a long way off for Lash. Not so much for Cal. Next target is going to be Relics. Lash should be prioritizing just sofas to control the map right now. Lash actually needs to be going after Relics himself, and Mosk is already up for that reason. If you're Cal and very quick about this, you can actually sneak to your Relics home on the flanks fairly easily. It's not as much about, like, you absolutely want them. Of course you do, but it's more important to take them away from Lash. I actually like that Cal's taking the risky resources now. It just means he can fall back to safer afterwards. Port Armor's also now on the way. It looks like Cal is getting into those relic gathering shenanigans we talked about. And we do have a few farms now getting added in as well, so this is going to give him his permanence. Farm transition is going to kill him? I don't think necessarily. You just need to be very careful about the way you do it. You need to make sure you're elegant. Don't rush it, because if you add in like 20 farms, that's too much of a gap in production. You'll just die to the flood of troops coming your way. What he does need to do is start prioritizing some Nesta bees. Because the whole point is, after you gather these southern resources, your whole economy is going to be from here to here, right? It's just this gap. Nesta bees can protect that. Cal, moving out north side now. He's actually going very greedy for his relic gathering. Funnily enough, both of them are, but Cal is actually in position to deny. All right, that worked out perfectly. So intercepts the first Imam. Moves out of his own Monk. Lash may have been overly greedy about that. He's going to play a little bit safe with the secondary. So this is going to end up being a 2-3 split, just not in the way I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be close to Cal's base. Instead, it's going to be north side. In fact, Cal's already trying to block additional relics. A little bit greedy from him, but Lash doesn't really have the firepower to deny him this flex. Just that, look at Cal's economy flexing. This amount of wood income, this is starting to look good, folks. I mean, I'm impressed, man. I think, like, I was worried for a sec. I think it was fair. I think Cal would nod and agree, like, you know, especially the macro on the TC in game number 1. We've seen it in previous games in the weeklies. We highlight a lot because it is probably his biggest weakness. It had me concerned, but this has looked a lot better, a lot cleaner. Does need to fix his housing situation. Does need to fix his housing situation. It was looking better. Cal has forgotten that houses are very important when you don't play Mongols. It's now on the wall low. This is problematic though. Cal has got another relic on the way home. He's trying to shift out for one of the most greedily located ones. It looked like Cal was going to get away with this, but I love the way that Lash just bypassed him with a faster army. And now this is bad. Nesta bees are good, but playing out of the base like this is bad. Finally, we do have a village being added in. Relic is now being picked up. Lash will be able to walk it away. Stealth Forest a little bit tricky, but Cal does see through it. I'm getting this weird feeling that Cal's only ever going to get one relic. I mean, if he can somehow get this one all the way home, I'll be bloody impressed. And this is important, right? Because if Lash gets 4 relics, it offsets the village lead. Lash is also doing something a bit crazy. Am I seeing this right? No, okay, thank good. What? He just queued up 10 warrior scouts into mass spears. I mean, yes, it's a counter to the crossbows, right? But I feel like you'd rather have either additional archers, right? Instead. So what's Lash's optimal transition? I mean, mass archers seems cool in theory, but like if Cal just hunkers in the corner, he can just go Imperial. He's setting the farms up. He's almost complete on it. He's got the gold veins, right? He's got 8k still in reserve here. And then adding all the taxation from producing units, like he's kosher. It's got a secondary tree line, which is secure as well. I think Cal doesn't really need to panic rush out. It's on Lash to now attack him. Warrior Scouts to take Nob down. I think it's like a moot idea to take them down though. Like if you could choose Sofa or choose Warrior Scout, you choose Sofa because Sofas are phenomenally more tanky. Mass Warrior Scouts could just get killed by mass Nestor Bees. Man, what a strategy at Cal. You know, I can tell that this man has been watching those S-tier taunts that he's been casting and observing for the last few years, because this is basically every Chinese game ever. Mass Spears and Nestor Bees. Breaking the wall on the south side is good. Cal. He's getting a little bit split here, actually. He didn't set up a keep. He didn't set up a secondary wall layer. He's at least getting that up on the north side. He's got Spoon in position to defend against this, but the archers are more problematic. Lash is starting to find that pressure he's been looking for. Sofa's now reaching to the south as well. Oh my god, he's everywhere. Cal, if he can survive this, he's a god, man. Like, this is hard for the best of players. It's a multifaceted raid. And finally, Cal realizes actually the optimal strategy would have been stone walls, but the question now is it too late? Breakthrough just to the south of here as well. More are flooding. I suppose we'll at least be able to protect the farmlands. See Pascal distracting as well. Looks like the stone wall did go up, but the price is high. Cal losing a lot of villagers here. Siege also getting sniped. He moves through. And Cal is so distracted, he's not even pulling away. More workers dying. All of a sudden, the eco leader's gone, right? Remember, with the Fulani, Lash is now ahead with that +4 relics, and he's going to get further ahead here. Cal looks dead. Not the type of Cal that need to be dead in this game for China to win. No, those ones are happy and content. 90 food a minute. Then you add in the extra 20 per cow. Lash is loving life. Cal kind of starting to hate it. Still just even more workers dying. After that raid, 28 dead workers. New wave coming in. I mean, this is relentless. Like, if Lash keeps this type of pressure up, Cal can't really win. He has got a lot of crossbows, but admittedly, Lash has the answer in archers. 2TC seems like a death sentence versus Mali. Not necessarily. Can actually be very good against Malians. Malians hate 2TC. I think Cal just needed to find a way to raid instead of just camping, right? There is also another build China can do against Malians, which is like a proxy base Barbican drop, which you can do all in. But it's a little bit risky because if it gets seen early, Malians can just beat you down with javelins. Second TC now. I mean, Lash. He's like, there's only so much I can kill. What have you really got left? In the middle, there's still 83 workers, right? But I like this from Lash. He's flying so much gold at this rate, he'll naturally end up in Imperial in about 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. Especially if he slows down production. Like, if you just focus on archers, you'll have plenty of food. Cal is now gathering the stone for a keep drop. Really needs it. The farm transition is what? Probably 25 deep? 28. It's not that full-fledged later game economy you're looking for, right? Hadn't even got food eco tech 2 either. Would probably benefit from it now that he's trying to mass pass guard. Good choice here, considering your opponent has been massing archers. However, if it gets spotted early, Lash can switch into the sofa. Love the fact that he's stopped diving and now, after going 2TC, he's just going sacred sites. Classic counter to Chinese, make them come out of the corner. Cal's micro is bad? No, dude, he's just reacting to many fires. Right, like Lash is attacking 3 or 4 places at once. It's actually easier to be an attacking player than a defending player. But it's more rewarding to be a defending player than an attacking player from like a value in RTS standards, right? Like not every RTS keeps this to the absolute truth, but I think actually AoE4 does, is that like you can win easier attacking than defending, but if you can master defense, you will win more than you will lose. Does that make sense? Because like defending just gives you the inherent edge of reacting quicker in a more powerful way, right? Wow, marching out for a clash here. Yeah, the problem is the movement speed isn't really on your side. He kind of needs Yuan. If Kao can get Yuan Dynasty, it'll be huge here. There'll be no walking away for the archers. A bit back and forth poke here. This Kao is staking a claim. The keep drop wasn't for the farms. It was instead for the gold. He's claimed to the center of the map. He knows he needs a staging point to get a decap on that sacred site. Meanwhile, clash north side. Reducing his archer counts quite nicely. I think you pull the trigger on Yuan here. You're 170 pop. By the time you complete Yuan, you'll have enough food to then just regurgitate up to the final number. Having that mobility is more important right now. Okay, so Kao getting 8k is a pretty big deal. Late game is now feasible. He just needs to deal with the sacred site first. And with a keep nearby, and Yuan now on the way, it should be very difficult for Lash to contest. That's going for a dive. Sees the Imperial Pass being built. Pretty ballsy to do it in his face like this, but the choke point is going to work nicely with the castle defense. He actually cancels it. A bit of an interesting choice. Did lose some resources off the back of that. I don't think that was necessary out of Kao. He could have baited Lash to keep diving there. Got a good engagement. Instead, he has to reallocate the resources. But once again, now because you don't have Yuan, look at the difficulty of keeping pace. I don't know. I don't think Kao needed to do that at all. The Yuan is more important to complete. The reason he's losing these fights, or rather not winning them, is because the crossbows can never keep up. Yeah, a little bit perplexing there. Especially when it's such low HP, it means that just a tiny bit of damage is going to cost you resources. Notable resources at that. We do at least now have a decap coming in. So he doesn't have to worry about that pressure anymore. Lash is transitioning into Trebs, but that's great for Kao. It slows the game down, which is what he wants, right? Because if you slow the game down, you both reach max pop, you have to then ask the question, which side has better units? It's China, right? Like pyrotechnics as the game goes on. House Guard, very efficient raiders compared to Musafadi for raiding. Sofas are admittedly the competitive point for Malians, and the hand cannoneers are good damage, but I mean, no one's going to tell me that there's anything better than Chinese hand cannoneers. You have Imperial Palace on the way. It's being built out here again. Breaking comes through though, and Lash. It's a fox in the hen house. Oh my, oh my. We've been here before. We've come here again. Farms have to be pulled away from. That's going to be a big gap in gathering for Kao. And also, you're basically running into the waiting arms of the Raiders. Behind this, Lash is starting to stockpile. He could be looking for a tech up. I just don't like this right now. This is so expensive for Kao. Lash is just frivolous, right? Toss away a bunch of these cheap crap units, replace them the next wave. I love the fact he's also taking the wood away, just starving resources from Kao. PC is about to explode? Dude, chill. Wait, is there starters? One's of the starters. No, I know what the starters will be, and it is actually nothing to do with the PC. Because the PC is not maxed out at all. The issue will probably be on the upload end because we multi-encode. Yeah. I am switching internet provider this month, so that will not be a problem soon. Because my current internet provider doesn't have, like, they don't have fiber optic as an option, proper fiber optic. So I can't get equal download, equal upload. But I'm switching over, and we're going to get something like, I think, 750 upload. That is probably because the multi-stream, because if you guys, you may have noticed, like, the quality of the encoding on all the different formats is a bit better, because I'm sending about 5 different levels of quality options on YouTube and Twitch. Wow, has got the Nest of Beast together now. Yuan's a really big deal here. We talked about how before he was getting kited, his crossbows couldn't engage. Now that issue doesn't exist anymore. Clash coming in on both sides. Lash, he was getting ready to go for a tech up play. Nest of Beast shots coming in. The Sova trying to wrap around, but it feels like a wasted effort here. There's knob shots. Adding in a lot of damage. Archer's hit on the back. Cow has lost the castle, but the plus side of this is he's going to win the fight. Archer Mass is shrinking fast. Crossbow numbers are looking strong. She needs to get those finishing touches. Second wave of Spinman are now arriving. The keep drop from Lash is ambitious. He has to cancel. Nice blockers on the walls as well. So it looks like he's going to be able to try and carve up the map a little bit further. For the Huntress is on the way, though, for Lash. Meanwhile, Cow, he's put everything into this. He can't stop. I don't think Cow's going to get deep enough fast enough here. I mean, the upside is your opponent is building a fort, the Huntress, in the... I'm sorry, when did Lash switch civs to HRE? Because this is how they build. What? When have you ever seen a Malian player build 4 landmarks on one screen? When one of them is a fort, the Huntress. Nest of Beast getting shots in. Can he get another one? No. Good dodge there, Lash. Gets the age up. Avoids losing 20+ workers. But Cow now needs to mirror. He could try to continue to pressure, but the timing's just not there anymore. It's a good bite back, but the bigger problem now is that Lash is aged up ahead of you. He has access to the northern resources, so gold to work with for days. Meanwhile, Cow, it looks like he actually is going to try to send it. Well, this is ambitious. Considering that Lash is playing Marlians with 4 relics, you have to assume that he has enough gold for all of his elite tags. And we can see he does. Not just that, he has Farima leadership, which is nuts in this matchup. Yuan Dynasty gets discounted by Farima. Holy crap. Now, you do still have an issue if Cow reaches Imperial, and I still do favor China in that late game, but guys, China isn't in the late game. No. They're stuck an age behind. 75 megabits a second for like 10 bucks. I'm paying a pretty ludicrous £67 a month to get, I can't remember what it is. It's meant to be like 800 meg download, but the upload's substantially weaker. And you have to remember, like, I am encoding multiple times, but I'm also encoding multiple times sending to YouTube and Twitch. So yes, very much looking forward to my new provider. I think I'm going to be paying £40 a month for 1 gig. Still kind of nuts how expensive it is, but it's not as bad. Alright, ones of you think we're Crown and Cow the winner, twos of you think Lash is going to take this. Yeah, I've got some trap play coming in, and Great Wall Gatehouse is now on the way. That's on the farm, so we'll have that protection. Oh, Cow, don't do this to yourself. They always do this. Help. When will they learn? See, English tack to death their civilians? Of course they do. You've seen how enclosures works in AoE4. Told you guys before. Ain't cheap to be a full-time content creator, especially when you live in the UK. And I don't even live in London. God. It would be much cheaper if I lived up north. But I don't think the infrastructure would be as good. It's a trade-off. I love that Lash, the Cow Rub is like taking out Lash's 4 buildings. Like, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but every little helps here. Lash is prepping mangoes. This is one scary area. As I said, hand cannoneers win, but actually the biggest scarier thing is if Marlians get trade going in infinite golds, Mangonel's adjustable crossbars wins. That's the scariest fort here. Is that China, for all their power in hand cannoneers, sucks in siege at this point in the game. Lead techs are complete. They look to clash with Cow before Cow gets his own upgrades in. Nest of Beast can get a big shot out here, though, if they stopped and fired. He goes for the mangoes and gets rid of them straight away. 1 down, 1 almost dead. Keep drop now coming in. Cal really looking to stake a claim on the front side here. And I don't think there's enough Sova to break through. Lash. The army cannot break the Nesta B-Mass. Cal catching Lash before the Mangoes can really take over. Wipes the front army and looks to just chase on in. Has got the crossbow spearman upgraded in elite tech already. Key drop to secure the wood as well. Just ironically returning the favor that Lash sent him a long time ago. Cal, I think the only thing that's really missing now is some full production. That really would be the chef's kiss, the creme de la creme. Cal, can he do this, man? This would be huge for him. Because going into this, I think most people would, and no discredit to Cal, they would have expected a 2-0 from Lash. Is that consistency? Ironically, Lash playing his comfort civ and one of Cal's most comfortably known civs. Maybe about to be on the receiving end of a spanking from our Norwegian friend here. Trebs now moving in. Mansa about to go down. All landmarks on one screen, which means he can force pressure again in the same location. Outpost also going up, so he gets an early warning. We also do have additional barrows. 1,200 resources for those extra rocket arrows, but it's going to be worth it against Mass Musafadi. And the outpost is going to guarantee that no stealth shenanigans can come to play. Oh my god. For this to end up an Imperial, but defined by trebuchets. Tell me that this isn't how Treb should be. Finally, a worthwhile unit, it feels like these days. Lash probably has one final attack in him. If he doesn't kill the siege, he'll lose the buildings too fast. We do have Banker repairs, who's at least able to rush the repairs a bit faster here. Cal would benefit from more static emplacements. Flash coming in again. STBs need to do their thing. They go for the back line, they go for the archers. He just wants the counter to the spears removed. Wrap around the back though, the trebuchet's being targeted. Lash is going to be able to find them here. And the Nesta is looking unguarded. Cal! He misread the position. Lash gets us around and forces him back. Oh my god, it's happening. Adjustable crossbars arrived. Cal, if he just had some emplacements, a few more buildings to fall back into, Lash wouldn't have been able to achieve that surround. And now the slippery slope may begin. 4 mangonels for Lash. The most accursed of techs has arrived. Adjustable crossbars that has ended so many games in Imperial. Something that, remember, China do not have. They don't have a mirrorable tech. The closest they get is the extra barrels, but it just doesn't shine a light to the true siege of the late game. Cal just desperately trying to keep that castle alive. He needs the staging point. He just has a real difficulty now of how to answer this. Ironically, the man who was holding his opponent hostage with siege now finds himself staring down that same barrel. Hand cannoneers is now at least on the way, but folks, had he done this pre-mass adjustable crossbars, mangoes, I could believe. Doing it now as a reaction is death. And this is definitely about to get worse. Elite Army Tactics is on the way, even precision training. And we don't have Elite Army Tactics for Cal. The one upside is your opponent is massing Musafadi, so your gunners can do really well with the Serpentine Powder because of the movement speed. Like, actually, have you guys ever noticed how absurd Serpentine Powder is on these hand cannoneers? No? It's because you haven't watched enough Chinese late game recently. With Yuan Dynasty already accelerating them, getting Serpentine Powder just allows you to bum rush your opponents. It's pretty crazy. Delay the game for another hour? Do you really want to do that against Malians? Have you ever heard of this thing called Malian trade? Now, myths say that it doesn't really exist, but I've heard it does. You're not going to get to see it in this game. In this game, it's just like, you know, the infamous Crystal Red Dragon from Hom 3. Hasn't been seen in God knows how many years. But if the game goes late enough, Lash will have that option. And we've seen how absurd that trade can get, right? 4.5, 5, 6K gold. Passive income. Well, not passive income. Infinite. Oh, nice pincher, though. Cow. Well, that was a freebie. Lash, what is he doing right now? I mean, he's still got more mangoes on the front line, but giving away free siege like this is not great. He's going to be diving in response, though. Cow is just looking for the economy. Spinman will be able to dive a little bit deeper. Mangoes are a problem, though, and Cow now starting to lose some villages. Backstab coming through. But wait, that's mass crossbows. That is the worst idea possible. Crossbows and hand cannoneers sent for a backstab against mass mangoes. I wonder how this story is going to end. Oh my god. Lash has repaired the damage done, so no risk of a landmark snipe. The mangoes shuffle even deeper. He's come around for a backstab again. The Nesta Bees are not that impressive though, folks. Look at the, I mean, cool if you can reload quick enough, but the mangoes should be able to finish you instead. Actually, Lash. Wait a second. Lash, he didn't take the easy win. He got baited. Bamboozled. Cow. He gets around the back. Cow with the sidestep on the second mango shot. Lash, a delicious target, too tempting to resist. Cow says, I am not done yet. Absolutely absurd there. I mean, Lash, he does still have the military lead, right? He's able to just keep pumping more of these troops, but definitely expensive mango loss. May not hurt him on his bottom line. He's got 8K gold in reserve, but it hurts him on his timing. Gives Cow hope of staying alive, but the hope is dwindling. It's fading quick here. Lash now has a 30 villager lead. Double the military. Cow trying to go into hand cannoneers is just so expensive and slow. Man, it has to be so demoralizing as well. Like, Cow probably checked this replay back at that point and go, I don't get it. He lost like 8 mangoes. Why did it not matter? And then you just, in that replay, you're going to see your opponent had 8,000 gold in reserve. At which point, you're just like, yeah, Malian players should have to uninstall the game. Before Cow realizes he was also a Malian player. I love that Cow's trying to do this kind of like chip raid now. Like, actually getting some Palace Guard together and going is probably the best thing you can do, but you need enough military to justify it. And right now, he lacks that raw military. Nah, Dry Arabia just seems to get us into the late game so often. We're now 40 minutes into this one. I'm just struggling to see where Cow gets resources now. If he gets blocked on the south side, it's over, right? The north side's already been secured. And Cow is losing way too much on this tree line. Workers trying to run away, but they're going to run into the waiting arms of the main army, the Malians. Cow, just so many workers lost. Once again, a 30 eco lead. There's actually also Sofa back here that apparently Cow doesn't realize. He's so distracted right now. He's got Nesta Bees finally moving over. But the price is already being paid. 3 Sacred Sites locked in. The Raiders are still just murdering everything. Oh no, dude. It's Voldemar's farms all over again. The only reason he's not going to outright die is because there is at least the Great Wall Gatehouse. But the damage is racked up. I mean, look at this. That's 121 worker kills in a game where he only has 82 now. The Unitechs are just killing Cow. He doesn't have the gold. Like, this is the risk of going hand cannoneers without the AK secured. Right, I think like after the siege situation, after he got wiped there, trying to get back into hand cannoneers cost him way too much. He needed Unitech upgraded cheaper units. He doesn't have Elite Army Tactics, and Mustafa had to destroy him. He doesn't have Ensnare Arrows, right? Like, crossbows would have been a lot cheaper. it's so difficult to vouch for him in this type of position, right? Like, looking back at that earlier fight, I think Cal needed to build more outposts on the forward side, add in some raptors there to get reproduction going in the fight, and then leverage the choke points to win. Failing to do that is what gave the opening for adjustable crossbars to even come through in the first place. Remember, Lash had to win that big fight that got rid of the keep as well, more or less, to stabilize. If that fight goes poorly, Lash is just dead to Trebs. And now, like, if you came into this game in the last 5 minutes, you'd struggle to believe that point even existed in the first place. You'd struggle to believe there was even a moment where it looked that bad for him. But now, Lash just looks like he's in full control. Mango Wolf coming in again. This is Cal's last stand. If he loses the army, he doesn't have the gold to remass anything. Would either. Ironically enough, you starve them by feeding them too much. And he has been starved out of this one. Cal began this series in style with a dominant winning game. But apparently that was the jolt, the shock to the system, the wake-up call that Lash needed to remind him that he is meant to be favored and he will take the win. 2-1, securing him a round of 16 placement where Lash will match up against either me and Micah or Lebanos. I'm excited for that one. And hopefully all will join me in it. If you like what you've been seeing here, make sure that you are subscribed to the channels, folks. Make sure you're following them. We do upload a lot of these onto the YouTube side. If you're watching YouTube, we do stream live there as well. We also do stream on Twitch, so be sure to hop in and join us. You know, let me know what you think of this game, though, guys. Like, did you think Cal should add this in too? Do you think that this game should have been a win for him? We were gobs hitting the floor from that game one because it's such a dominant stomp. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next chapter. Oh, man. Damn. GG's, Mr. Cal. That was crazy. I mean, considering, like, if you look at the ELO, the tournament ELO thing, someone got a link to it. I haven't actually got, because I'm on a new PC, I don't have the history of it. But, like, I'm pretty sure seeding-wise, like, Lash is, like, 10? I'll say roughly 10. Is that Crystal Dragon in my PC? Hell yeah. This PC is so good at suppressing heat, it can contain a dragon. That's why you need to be checking out these components and these partners. That's how good this PC is. That's incredible, though. What a game. What a game. So, we still have more series, though. We have got Mia Micah versus Lemonos, which I think is one worth checking out. Because we've seen Lemonos before. He's a decent player, actually, guys. Lemonos is ranked... Okay, he's fallen down a bit to 690. But I'm pretty sure early in the season he was up to, like, 300th. So we could check him on Mia Micah versus Lemmy. Unless... Have we got any... I'm trying to think if we got any potential for round of 16s. It'd be cool to finish the day on, like, a round of 16. I mean, if me and Micah won, he'll be asleep already. Lemonos would be awake. Dumu's obviously gone, so he can't play Starflark right now. Mahodo versus Fleece is tomorrow. Scarlet needs to schedule his. B1 against Imjerticler. I wonder if Stopper and GUA are playing tonight, actually. Dude, I'd love to get some Stopper and GUA, but I haven't seen anything from them. And I imagine Giving Zai is at work right now. So that probably won't happen today. I imagine it'll probably happen tomorrow. Something like that. But what we can do the Me and Micah versus Lemonos series. Let me let that bad boy in. I'll reset. We've got King of the Hill opening. Dry Arabia and Hallowed Spring. Okay. Can we get close up? What, on the PC? Ugh. Sure. Look at this. Look at this. This beaut. You guys ready? Oh, look at that. So yeah, we got the Corsair fans, LCD cap from Corsair as well, AIO cooler from them, the PSU is Corsair. We've got Kingston Fury RAM sitting in there, RGB, the beasts. We've got the Gigabyte, Radeon 7900 XTX. This is absolute beast, top of the line from AMD, all powered by a 9950X AMD CPU, which is 16 cores. It's the latest and greatest. And then there's the Corsair cooling, all housed inside a Haven CPU, Haven case rather, and then it's all seated on a motherboard from Aorus Gigabyte, the X870, the new one, which has loads of cool little features. Like down there, I don't know if you guys can see it because it's black on black. There's a button that they've added that is the latch for the GPU, because they're really hard to reach now, because what we've got sitting underneath that heatsink there is Crucial's best Gen 5 SSD. It's actually the best Gen 5 SSD on the market you can get. It's a beast. What I'm looking for now is I'm gonna, like if you guys are wondering about monos, I might have a solution to that, because I'm gonna be talking to some brands about a certain brand about getting a monitor sent out to try some new OLEDs. So keep an eye out for that as well. Only 2 DIMMs, yes, 64 gig in total, so 32. I mean, 2 DIMMs is historically a lot better for performance-wise for AMDs. It's just easier on compatibility. All right, so let's get ready for the Miyamika versus Lemonos series. We've got Rus Byzantine's game number 1. And yeah, you can tell that this is Miyamika play just based on the draft. It's just like every single time this guy drafts the same bloody way without failure. All right, let's get ready for game number 1 though. Despair. Oh, GG, Cal. You were close, mate. You know what I think done it, Cal? It was that break you took between game 1 and game 2. There was your big problem. I reckon that... I feel like that didn't help you. Was that you who took the break, or was that him? Because I feel like that break ruined your flow, man. Dude, like... I was like, I think he just needs to take a moment to check himself after game 1. He's like, what the hell just happened there? Last one, dude. Oh man, he got you. Oh, he got you good. Like that break, he needed it really badly. I think that was a mental reset break, because that game 1 was like. Lash was a nice guy. I bet he wanted to break his keyboard after that. He's like, how did that happen? Good old tap pauses. Anyway, we've got Lemonos versus Miyamika. Lemonos is ranked about 600-ish in the world right now. I've seen him go as high as like 300 though, so he's a capable player. Miyamika, on the other hand, doesn't need any introduction. This guy is like... He's that mini villain that almost beats Superman. You know what I mean? Like every time we watch him go up against some of the best, he gets a game, right? Like against a Puppy Paw, he'll take a game. And Puppy Paw is like the uncontended king throughout the weeklies, right? But... he never seems to get the full series. I think it'd be fair to say Miyamika is favored here. Definitely in round number 1. If he wins here, though, he'll be going up against Lash in round 16. Now, that can be a tight series. I would lean Miyamika favored. I think he has some very aggressive lines that he can take, especially with the current map pool that could work well. But I wouldn't write Lash off. Byzantines versus Rus in this series an opener. I mean, if Lemonos gets there, it'd be pretty impressive. German v German. Rus is definitely a powerful-looking pick. I just kind of rate Byzantines higher here. I think the Cataphract build is very hard to contest. The timing is just a bit too aggressive. I'm wondering, actually, if Miyamika is going to be a Hippodrome boy. Probably going to just get... oh, yeah, dude. Like this, he has a Hippodrome. Is he going for the double pump Keshix into Fast Castle? Would make a lot of sense, actually. Especially considering Lemonos, if I'm not mistaken... he's not going to go for a Kremlin drop, right? That would be greedy. Nah, it's too late for it. So it's definitely going to be Golden Gate. You could Kremlin at home. It's actually not the worst idea if you're worried about like the Keshik opening. Because the problem I have with this type of build from Rus is if this is a Keshik opening from Miyamika, he can legit just catch you in the middle of the tech. Keshiks are that good at it. I think the first time we really saw it in action was actually Myriad. He was playing Byzantine versus Rus on high view, and his timing was perfect. He had his first Keshik ride in and find the high trade house being built, killed like 4 or 5 villagers, forced to cancel on the build, and then forced the landmark to be built at home. And we do have Imperial Hippodrome on the way, so Mio Micah is going to be going for that cavalry-oriented approach. I mean, we expected it already, right? Yeah, A on the Golden Gate is a little bit aggressive. I'm not really sure what Lemonos's thought process is. I mean, he doesn't have resources to trigger Pro Scouts. He doesn't have resources to get archery ranges or anything. Like, the only thing you get out of this play is a ticket generating sooner. I think Lemonos needs to reassess this detail. You can justify it, right? Like, if you're late on your tech up timing compared to someone else, or there's something you want, it makes sense. But the way he's done this, like, why? Like, I'm looking at his resources right now, and I'm like, why not just do it with 5? You would have had enough wood at that pace to get an archery range straight away if that was your play. Or racks. Wooden Fortress. Whatever it is. This is Pro Scouts. It's not a very efficient Pro Scouts, but it's definitely Pro Scouts. Interesting. That's worrisome because me and Micah can actually block you out really well. Me and Micah can actually mirror into Pro Scouts, guys. And with the Triumph, you can kill your Scouts. I wonder who's going to go for it. Yo, what's up, Real Kicks? Thank you very much. Appreciate the sub. Thank you, thank you. Prime subs. Love that. You want to know why? Because what you're doing is you're looking at the fact that Bezos has been taking all that money out of your account. And you're like, I'm going to take some out of his account by giving it to KP. Appreciate it. So Metcalf's now getting dropped. We do have Horseman immediately. Pro Scouts just got queued by Lemonos. If he goes Keshix, this is going to go fast. Alright. 1s if you think it's Keshix, 2s if you think it's Western. 3s if you're drunk and think that we're getting Silk Road. Double hunting cabin here as well, so a reasonable amount of generation coming in. I mean, it's just gotta be the way of the Keshix, right? Hey-oh, here we go. So he's got the pump ready. I'm a little bit surprised he hasn't triggered it. It's a little bit inefficient that Miyamaka is waiting like this. Like, you just go Keshix. There's no way you'd wait for Gulems here. Rax is already coming out from Lemonos, so he has the correct reaction. Like, all you have to do now as Mio is fast castle. It's too late to go Pro Scouts. Like, Wheelbarrow is a little bit ambitious. Then again, he's, what, got 10 sheep? I can kind of understand the logic of why he wants Wheelbarrow. He's probably going to have to walk out for the berries. Like, actually securing this area is big. Because you could just wall this off, have boar deer. Very hard to get Pro Scouted at that point. That's Keshix on the way. Yeah, I like this from Mio. I actually think he took the correct approach. The wheelbarrow timing is going to be almost perfect to, like, shuffle across the extra berries if he wants to. He'll probably have to gather on sheep about, like, 20 seconds. It's not the most efficient walkover because you have to walk diagonally. But it's a lot better than just walking out now for the one-off, and then if you get rushed back, you just don't have the ability to retreat, right? It's quite interesting, these type of builds where wheelbarrow is just actually worth it as the aggressive player. You guys remember the days where we be like, oh my god, it's 4 minutes in the game, he hasn't got wheelbarrow. He must want to lose. I was just thinking, actually, there was a legit time where the community's collective thought was kind of that, right? It's like, wait, did he forget wheelbarrow? Seems so taboo to just not have it. I think that came after the initial Pro Scouts meta. Because at that time, like, yeah, actually rushing wheelbarrow made no sense. But then we shuffled towards, like, why have you not got it? Keshix Horseman now arriving. I'm not giving chase. I mean, you could Triumph, you really don't want to here, though. Triumph feels terrible when you've got so small an army, because you'll only get one use. Real win conditions on the way. Mia Micah getting ready for Castle Age. Lemonos isn't too far behind. You remember the Dark Age wheelbarrow days? Every game, man. Every game. Like, oh my god. And then, the shining beacon of hope in our community. The one and only Mister came in on a broadcast and said, if you're walking, you ain't working. If you're working, you ain't walking. And it changed everything. Oh, man. How many scouts can you really stop? If you focus on one location, like, you can kill 2, probably. It's just the fact he doesn't want to use Triumph, though, right? Like, that's the biggest tricky part. He's still going to have Keshix to raid. Like, arguably, you could say the best thing you could have done is fakey'd on the scouts and then gone to kill economy. The problem is it's just so difficult when Leminos is playing tight like this. What's that? You're getting ads. Man, if only there was like a way to not have to worry about ads. Nice micro from you, Micah. He's min-maxing it. This is sick micro right now. Leminos. A little bit of a slip in the end there from me and Micah, but overall a better trade than you would have expected. Almost managed to break through there. That's going to force Leminos to double down on spears. System the first steal's already on the way, and Leminos going for that high trade house. Get your numbers in, folks. How big's it going to be? Me and Micah, first Cataphract's coming. Veterancy's going to be there soon for the Keshix as well. And we have got the sustained healing. Leminos made a critical blunder there. You never want to walk into Keshix when you're outnumbered. They'll just heal off of you. Big mistake made. Cost him more spears, cost him a bigger reinvestment in a situation where you're already going to struggle to have enough to deal with the Cataphracts. In fact, in a situation where you need to start going crossbows. Crossbows are the way to snipe out the Cataphracts before they escape. The problem with Spearmen is what's going to happen. Catas go in, club, 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 almost dead, run away. And that's when you reach the true depths of sadness in AoE 4. You thought it was going to be when you encounter English picks back to back to back, but that's not the true sadness of AoE 4. That's just being gold rank. That was a funny comment on how every single player plays English in the lower ranks. Because statistically, I'm pretty sure English is like... Oh man, I want to check the stats now. Is English like 40% of the played games? Gulp is coming in, and 115 trees. Woo-wee! That is going to be bloody hell. Oh, 248 gold. And what is up, Atraxi? Thank you very much for the gifted sub, mate. You're a legend. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. And the only thing I don't like about these Kata builds is like they're very slow on going relics, even though it's an inherently beneficial play. Like you're building Cataphracts, you need a lot of gold anyway, right? Speaking of those Cataphracts, they have arrived. Crossbows did get spotted there, so Mimike is going to back off. Gulp's coming in. Okay, so Leminos not dead yet, right? He's got the crossbow counter in place. It's really important. However, what's scary now is if you go crossbows like this, spears, you can't really come out for relics. Maybe one at a time. So if Mio just preps the monastery now, he has a really easy win. There we go. Wait, did he legit get gifted a sub and left? Oh no, there. That would have been the best. Oh man. Oh. Cavalry. Leminos a little bit slow on the pull away there. Funnily enough, the trample's still available. You know, I think he actually could have committed trample there, body blocked 3 villagers, and got extra kills. It's fine. The chip damage is adding up. Cavalry isn't really being hemorrhaged, and on top of that, we do now have monks being queued. System in the first deal is just so obnoxious. He could trample this right now. Doesn't even care to. Apparently, we're just A-click gaming. He's like, oh, no, I can't focus on pressing Q. I need to press R. Wait, is it R? T. It's F12 for me. Uh-oh. Leminos. It's going to be about to get really bad. The crossbow count is non-existent. It's happening again. Cataphract builds in my tournaments? The outrage. How dare he? Winning games easily. This build is just so obnoxious. Well, I did promise you guys a new generation of a new generation of King of the Hill. Are you happy yet? How's he not wall? Like Like, have you tried walling nowadays, Wafty? It's so hard to wall now. The Keshiks came very early, remember. Walling would have been hard. Maybe not impossible, but very hard, I think. Alright. Let's get ready for game number 2. It's just so difficult to wall compared to what it used to be. That's the thing that makes the Katas even more insane, is the fact that, like, in conjunction with their rise to power, walling got harder. And it's, like, meant to be your safest solution. We got a weird one, though. This could be good for Lemonos. He's actually got one of his comfort picks. He likes to play Abasas quite a lot, from what I remember. He's a Golem spamming boy. Mio Micah went Mongols. So this is, like... I mean, this is, I think, quite a good matchup, actually, for Abasad. Let's find out. Nice marker point up for Mio. One sec, just double checking something. So I think we have the SAS series after this we can have a look at. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. I mean, like, Mongols, I'm trying to think of the hardest matchups in the game. This has to be, like, top 3 hardest, right? Hey! Sup, Hex? Thank you very much. Welcome to the Swarm. New subscribers. Love to see that. Thank you, mate. Hope you're enjoying the content. New subscribers, Pog? Apparently a hype train started off of that. Twitch is like, holy crap, someone new. Let's get him in here. So, like, this type of spawn, is there anything good for Mongols to exploit? Abbas has got back, stone, berries. It's just, you don't really want to outpost rush. Mio is probably just going to fast feudal. Oh, no. What? Oh, this is kind of sick. I think Mio Micah is, like, one of the very few players I still see doing this with Mongols. Dark Age Horseman has kind of become a rarity. Very expensive, but used right, you can do some damage knowing that your Abbasid opponent's going to be out on berries this early on. Interesting, though. So is this going to be an outpost rush follow-up? It's not the worst of ideas, because, like, if your opponent then goes for a ram rush to try and block the outpost, you have horsemen that get bonus damage against siege. It's got a nice trade. Would Mio do trade here? If Mio Micah didn't think he could end the game, likely we see trade, right? But if he feels like he can actually kill his opponent, I would really expect to see Deer Stone. In fact, I think Mio Micah, I don't want to say exclusively does Deer Stone, but very rarely does Silver Tree these days. It just kind of fell off, right? Like, you can always go Silver Tree on a delay by just going normal trade posts. And sure, you don't get the discount, but what you get instead is an opportunity to take control of the game early with Deer Stone. That otherwise isn't there. Lemmy, probably going to be going Millie Wing, expecting an outpost rush. No, he goes full greed. Okay, so we have Eco Wing. Mio's play is looking like a bait. I think he wanted to force a reaction. Okay, there we go. We do actually have Horsemen. Now, what's interesting, actually, is by doing it this way, like, the timing actually lines up quite nicely. Lemonos is going to want to start gathering stone soon. And you're going to have these Dark Age Horsemen that may not hit like a truck, but hit hard enough that they can force out of timing kills. I think Mio Micah is probably only going to build the 2 Horsemen and just tech, considering the way he's balanced his economy. He only is interested in the double production, and at this rate, now he can just go for the tech and get Keshiks when he has enough stone. Sheep count ends up being 14, actually, so only 10 sheep for Lemonos. That's kind of expected, really. Like, yes, you don't have to come home with the Abbasids, but Mongols move quicker. And there is the Deer Stone. Yeah, I just think Silver Tree is you giving control of the game to your opponent. I don't like it. I very rarely nod when I see Silver Tree anymore. Then again, I feel like even further back, I just kind of hated Silver Tree. It's like, it's so much greed. There was a time where it made sense with the old exploitable trade system, but after the change, I just think it was very much Deer Stone needed to make a return. Mongols are not a civ that is good in a reactionary phase. Mongols are good in a proactive phase. Trade is you saying to your opponent, do something. And it made sense with the old trade because of how much value you got off the 2 traders. The new trade, it doesn't make sense. racks coming as well. So Lemonos understanding that he's going to have to work to protect, especially after seeing the opening of Horseman. And Mio, what would be sick here is if he just switches archers. Just like double archer range ASAP. Hasn't got the word, so we're definitely seeing Keshik pump. Looking at the spawn where we can put TCs here. Lemonos has been really slow to go out onto the stone because he tried to protect against the cap play, right? You're probably going to want to try to get like a slight deer shove in, TC drop here. I don't think you want to go free TC, but you kind of want to make your opponent think you are. And when he sees you like TC on the stone, he's probably going to be like, okay, I need to go faster. That's when areas can be forced. There's a nice little area here that if you can ever wall it off, Bastards actually have a lot of back economy. Safe at home. One thing that is tricky is like usually a Bastards can benefit from a second TC on the tree line. This isn't really a great spawn for it unless you want to have like very tight town centers. Because usually you TC beyond the tree line, right? But in both cases, you're talking about forward resources. Mongols will jump right on that. And wait a second. We've got Magadai. I didn't even really contemplate it. I didn't want to entertain the thought, but that's kind of sick. I mean, Magadai makes sense here because Lemonos went Spearman and he revealed that he went Spears, right? And because he's going TC, he's not going to want to have to rush into Archers now. He doesn't have the economy to do that yet. So you're able to kind of catch him with his hand in the cookie jar at a perfect time here. It's crazy because if Lemonos hadn't gone for the rack Spearman, the Magadai timing wouldn't make any sense. You couldn't ever be there quick enough. But now there's a window of opportunity because your opponent spent a lofty, 390 resources on something other than the town center timing. Which you could totally punish if these guys would stop taking a coffee break. Oh, that's right. They're looking at us. We better get moving. Yeah, you think? That's a bit of a whoopsie. I don't like what Lemmy's doing here, though. Like, he's gathering way too much resource now. He's going free TC, right? It's either free TC or he's forgotten how to build a town center. Either one is cause for concern here. Oh, no. And it's almost like a false sense of security here, right? Like, great, you only have melee. I don't have to worry. Guys, it's full Magadai. If he times this right, he'll force a cancel on the TC. What you want to do now if you're Miyamika, walk over here, activate the movement speed arrow to get them in. This could be big. Mio. He's saving it for the attack speed arrow. Oh, there you go. Movement speed gets activated. Moves in. Gets slowed down a little bit by the Spearman. There's only one left alive. Finishes them off and now can target the villagers. Lemmy looks like he's going to get the TC up, though. So Miyamika, the difference there legitimately was the idle time. Those two Magadai, just like this one after them, standing there not moving, is why he didn't hit his timing there. Neo missed golden opportunity there to punish. Lemmy. Now he's going to be able to secure those deer. I can't believe that, man. That should have been GG, right? That should have been game over. Instead, Lemonos gets an opportunity to play deeper into the set. Miyamika now with a little bit of a wasted effort. Magadai definitely not cheap. So how does Mio take control again? Well, apparently, fast castle. I wasn't really expecting that. And also on top of that, Lemmy needs to be very careful. Miyamika just being so insanely aggressive here. He's going to have to add in a few more Magadai. I believe that is going to be, once again, the double production. Yeah, he's only 2xing. He doesn't see value in anything but 2xing. Why have I gone to half X speed? Sorry about that. Some things just fell on my keyboard. Okay, this is getting annoying. You're going to get a worker kill. The tricky part is Lemmy doesn't actually have wheelbarrows, so getting anywhere safe is very difficult. And this is very important because, like, you can see it's just a castle rush, right? So slowing your opponent down just a little bit while he's trying to return value off the TC is huge. Step redoubt just a smart choice as well. Magadai just lofty in the gold. He's going to be able to get the veterancy. He's going to be able to start spamming them even more. On top of that, he can also rush relics. I don't know, man. I'm kind of impressed. I think Mio is very good at these type of builds. We've seen it a few times from him now. The fast castle transition is just always seeming to pay off in these series. You guys remember, in KPMM 7, it was against Lash that he done this, right? It was a bit different in that game. It wasn't really Magadai opening. But he went, I believe it was it 14-minute, no, 16-minute Imperial, I think. 16-minute Imperial Mongols. Alright, one's if you think Mio's going to win this, two's if you think Lemmy's taking it. And calling him Lemmy just feel like I'm saying Lenny. Good old Lenny. The question now is, does he lean harder into Magadai, or are we going to see just a switch into heavy cav? I mean, sometimes you think about men-at-arms in this position. Your opponent is going Camel Archers, which is going to debuff you pretty hard in the Khan Hunters, in the Magadai. Oh damn, we have it too. That was starting to feel very uninspiring. I mean, Lemmy does have to play a long feudal, but Camels can be the solution to all. As long as Mio doesn't do like something as obtuse as just massing archers and crossbows. Good scout Falcon. Me and Mike are just trying to make sure his opponent is staying in H2 before he forces a commitment. Yeah, we're just getting very Magadai. He's just going to Magadai his way to victory, isn't he? I mean, right now, these villagers aren't dying fast, but the veterancy is no joke. Also, keep in mind, Mio, he's got a blacksmith. Steel Dagger is on the way. Big damage buffs coming in soon. Camelot, in the meantime, is at least going to try to go for a stab on the other side. Miyamoka has been greedy about this. Doesn't actually have an outpost to protect him. He's fast imping again. Well, I did call it. He loves this freaking build. So this is the Karganet Palace build. The Karganet Palace build is really good when you're pre-50 villagers because it just adds so much economy. I think it's something like 20-25% more workers worth. Good micro there as well, Mio. If we were to get the kill on the camel, won't even cost him anything. Maybe if Lemonos switches. Doesn't notice though. Veterancy now kicked in. Steel Dagger coming through, so they're about to hit for 7 each. I don't know, I really like Miyamaika's build here. This is very good at punishing greedy players like this. He's doing just enough eco damage that Lemonos can't realize a villager lead. A real one anyway. And then, because your opponent is like playing defensive off of 2TC, he's not going to rush to punish you on that. I do wonder if Mia would benefit from just like playing into monks with these type of builds. That would maybe be the one thing I'd think about changing with it. Man, the Khan is tanking everything as well. Remember, he's got 300 HP. He even activates the armor arrow. Okay, this is just kind of vile. He's fast imping while destroying Lemonos in the fights. I mean, does Lemmy even hang around when Imp comes in? You're about to be Feudal Age versus Imperial. God, that sounds horrible to say out loud. I think like my feedback to Lemmy is scout. Build a scout and go and look at what your opponent's doing. I'd like to play a bit differently, right? Because the play here should have been like just Archer Blob, and then a few Cav units to raid. Going Camel Archers, I think he baited himself. If Mio had been scouted doing this, and Lemonos hadn't just assumed his opponent was going to build Keshik Men Arms, very different game potentially, but like the fact he went Camel Archers tells you that he was expecting something heavily armored. I think Karganet Palace would be too good if you could choose your units. The RNG element kind of feels a little bit mandatory. Maybe if you could choose the order, it'd be kind of fair. Like, you know, you select the unit and then you have to go through all of them before you can go in again. That might be reasonable. Like, yeah, if you're just like, oh yeah, I want Roost Knights. That would be crazy. Crazy with dive here, Miyamaka. Unnecessary. Behind this, completely necessary. The Karganet Palace, ladies and gentlemen. The big boy has arrived. Lemonos now has to deal with the fact he's nowhere near going age 3. He's nowhere near being in this series. GG gets called. Oh, what a catastrophic end for him. Oh my god. The delay of just a few seconds before being like, okay, yeah, that's it. Damn. Alright, so trying to think if we have some more series maybe. Oh. I think there might have been Sas's series. Let's have a look here. Think you got GG when stuck in feudal? Yeah, I mean I don't blame him for that, right? It's like what do you really do at that stage? It's like you're like, well, I'm gonna be here for 2 more minutes, and he's probably just quickly mathing in his brain. He's like, how many units for free does he have at that point? So we do have, I think, 1 more series available, which is Sas versus Hussein. Borderland Pigeon's View. So I'll probably look to do that one. Checking on good Hussein. So King of the Hill, Borderland, and Pigeon's View. Let's have a look at what we got here. Have a look at one of our community members, Hussein. You guys might have seen him in chat before. He's made plenty of mods, plenty of map changes. Really nice guy. He keeps trying, and I respect it. Hasn't really been able to breach through. Sass is definitely not going to be an easy opponent. English HRE in the draft feels pretty damn good. King of the Hill might be a bit problematic. Sass has what? Roost, Chinese, really, really strong picks. Maybe Hussein goes for like an English pick here would be quite interesting. Let's have a look. So game 1, King of the Hill. What are they cooking with? Okay, so he did go for the Juji. Ooh. This could be a pretty good matchup, actually, for him. It's Juji versus English. That's pretty damn good. Juji historically have struggled, but then again, like, you know, we still haven't seen these kind of lean into cavalry hard builds as much against English. I'm hoping that Hussein's going to go for an all-in. I don't think you want to play deeper into the game. 2TC feels way too greedy. Let's see what he's got in mind, though. Opening up on King of the Hill for this best of 3 series. Remember, this is the round of 32. Winner of this one will be going up against either Givjungzai or Stopper. I'm curious to see what he wants to do in this one. I mean, Sass has got Juji. Juji have a few builds that have started to creep through. I actually love that Juji have some diversity to them now. I feel like before they were just a very one-dimensional kind of boring civ, right? Like they basically, at one stage, would just do multi-TC. At another stage, they could only do fast castle. Now you have the potency of like all-in Jugnu. You have these fast castle into either Mountain Academy builds. You have the Shaolin Monastery builds. I think there's like 3 or 4 different builds that are viable for this civ right now, which is really refreshing to see. This civ, on the other hand, has just been doing one bloody type of build over and over and over and over again. They just love going for the Abbey of Kings. I'm hoping Hussein is going to resist the temptation. We'll do the 2 times for the opening. Looking at the resources. Oh no, Hussein. What happened? Oh no, he went the same way! Wait, but he went through the center and got nothing? That's crazy. Hussein has like no sheep. He has 4 sheep. I don't think you can do Council Hall Rush off of this. And if you can't do Council Hall Rush, you're not doing anything to stop Juji. He has to go Council Hall. Catastrophic situation. He's at least going to be able to claim a few more sheep on the east side. He goes Abbey of Kings. Should Sushi go Horseman here or Fast Castle? I think now Sass can just go Pro Scouts, 3 Horsemen, block the King. I don't like this build when I see it out of English. The way you can maybe make it work is if you go Horseman yourself, but the problem is now that you've got so little sheep off the map, how do you do Horseman? You can't, right? And then also, if this turns into a mirrored Horseman play, you can't play Pocket Resources English. Do you know why, guys? Really important detail that makes it impossible. If Horsemen come and raid you on the deer, you have 5 damage ranged. The Horsemen don't care. They'll just kill you. It's not like when 2 Horsemen show up on 10 villagers gathering on deer normally, where you just get shivs out. English, if there's one situation they suck at with their villagers, it is against Horsemen specifically. Medigarden coming up in the corner. I like this, actually. This is pretty good. 36 food, the 25 gold, and then he's probably going to be generating, I want to say, 35 to 40 wood. Really respectable number. Could have went for the corner if you want to get the absolute maximum wood, but the food is just too important here. So, Husson does have, that does have a lot of wood. It could be archery range follow-up, which is, I don't think, terrible. I've talked before about the ideas of 1 TC Abbey of Kings play. Usually it feels better to do the Horseman. But Horseman won't be able to snipe Eco is the problem here, right? Another big issue I just noticed is Sass hit the jackpot with this spawn, not just for the Medigarden, it's the gold placement as well. Council Hall probably would have struggled to hit because of that placement. I don't think Hossein didn't check first. He just chose not to go Council Hall, and now is going to realize actually it was a good call. Kind of crazy he got away with that, but courtesy of actually what Sass has done here. Like, Sass has actually played this very, very reserved. That mill is insanely far back, right? But that's intentional. The reason he done that is because he was worried about a longbow spam. Okay, the Horseman coming through. He's prepping Pro Scouts after this, though. You can tell by the resource. I said this 2 times. Knight is actually on the way. Wait, what? English Pro Scout. I've seen it all now. If you had to list 1 Civ you'd never expect to do Pro Scouts, just choose 1. Pluck it off the top of your head. What Civ doesn't ever do Pro Scouts? I can't believe this. We've got English Pro Scouts. Oh my god. Saints following up with Horseman, which I actually do like. I talked about the value of this build. I mean, in fairness, like, we said how good Mass Horseman theoretically could be here. The only way he was ever going to do it was with Pro Scouts. It seems memey or whatever, but it's like, it's what you had to do here. Even if it doesn't feel great or look great. I think it was necessary. I still can't believe we've got English Pro Scouts. Sass could supervise Mill and Lumber Camp and Micro. Oh wait, did he not do it the whole time? I was busy thinking about food. RL food, not just in-game food. I can't believe I've got English Pro Scouts in my tour. I'm just going to be stuck on that detail for like the next 10 minutes. There's going to be some Rasmus in the gold. Remember, Sass does have spears as well. The crazy thing is this is like a taboo, bad, never do it thing against English, right? Do not build spears because they will be longbows. Zane went Pro Scouts though, so who's thinking about... Oh my god, he's even adding in farms. This isn't... Oh man, Pro Scouts is really efficient. This is... My god, I have no resources. Please help. That's not the 3 Imperial officials as well. Plenty of supervision going on here. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like, I love the fact that he just doubled down on Pro Scouts play now to block Hussein's play for Pro Scouts. That's all he cares about, because he understands that, oh, I got all the sheep. He sees that, right? It's very clear to him that he has a majority of sheep. So he has safe resource for longer. He's just trying to basically starve his opponent out now. So is there hope for Hussein? If this goes castle, no. I don't favor English castle age here because it's going to have to be King's Palace to not fall behind. And if it's King's Palace, you're just getting dove by Lancers and Palace Guard. That's the scary part. It's like you can't mirror Zhu Ji's blob. Supervision just makes them too quick. So Hussein needs to try and scale Horseman and keep this in H2. He also needs to find a way into Lombos. Instead, he's going racks. Well, this definitely perplexes me a little. I mean, there are some horsemen, right? But there aren't an insane amount in the field. And also, this is where Hussein should be getting suspicious. Like, why aren't there more? Why am I not seeing this army get bigger? We can see why. Sass is on his way to castle. Hussein, in the meantime, is adding in men-at-arms that are going to be worthless in about 25 to 30 seconds. Which is pretty much just long enough to get them out, actually. House is also now being targeted, just forcing extra reaction out of Hussein. This is borderline over. Hussein got tricked into playing the Age. He didn't do anything with it, really. Now that he sees the tech up, he just has to mirror. Problem is, this army's big enough that he's also going to be paranoid that he needs more to defend with first. He does at least have some food coming home. Negative's going to be he doesn't really have enough army to come out. So this should be a 5 relic game for Sass. Bare minimum 4. Just checking, by the way, I think this will likely be our last series of the day. As I said earlier in the day, Numenor versus MSN is happening in about 2.5 hours, but that's fairly far off. I could theoretically go eat after this series and then, like, come back for it, but I think we'd still, like, be missing content to fill for, like, an hour or so. Instead, it might be one that we cast on Monday. I imagine we'll be straight into quarterfinals, though, which is what we usually find ourselves doing. Yeah, it's 2.5 hours off. They play at 11 PM CET. Which surprises me, because I would have thought that was past MSN's bedtime. Play a game AoE4? Not today. Maybe we'll look to do it at some point. I might start mixing on Fridays. I've said this before, like, Friday is technically the weakest performing day of the week. People just don't often want to tune in for not a Poppy Paw or something like that, right? King's Pass now come from Hussein, but blocker on the gold. Lances are going to be able to die for a very long time here. And in fact, Hussein made a big mistake. He didn't prep spears ahead of time. Lances, they know. Hussein, he can't complete the age up. Oh no, and behind that, more relics are coming home for Sass. Sacred Side's also locked in. It's just so much distraction. Everywhere Hussein can't afford to be right now. Stuck in his base, the worst place to be at this stage. I mean, there's more troops coming, folks. Like, if there's any semblance of hope in your brain that Hussein can recover this, just look at the minimap and realize more are coming. Doesn't Pro Scouts being so popular in the meta just make Roost Bounty game worse because all civs do it? The Roost Bounty game got changed. It's not the minigame anymore, thank God. Which is why, like, Pro Scouts being meta isn't an absolute travesty right now. Villagers just having to rush up. I mean, I respect that Hussein's like, screw it, if I wait, I lose. Hard to measure a way in which you don't feel like you've already lost, though. He'll at least get the age up, but I mean, there's not going to be much left when he gets there. Can at least garrison the workers inside, but the amount of lances already in his base, 2 relics already home. King down. I just don't know really what you're meant to do here. This, I mean, this I think is a classic example of where sheep defines game. I feel like this was lost for Hussein because of the poor scout rotation. Just getting no sheep made this impossible. Like, I forgot to say, he went pro scouts as English to try and recover it. Do I need to say anything more? No, I think that paints a pretty firm picture. Pro scouts English. Good God. So one on the board. Looking at his draft, where did he take this next? He's got Boardland or Highview. I think Hassan's going to go Boardland. HRE Boardland. And if SAS suspects that, you do what? China? They're going Pigeon's View. What? I mean, he gets HRE, but it's Rus on Pigeon's View. It's a really, really good map for them, actually. Do you want the same thing that they're unconnected? I mean, you just gradually get your bounty system now. Like, it doesn't really hinder Rus, per se. Alright, let's hop in. Oopsie. So... Alright, let's see if this is going to be a good... Let's see if we can get 3 games here. Speed up for the other games. So SAS... Rus on this map needs no introduction. They are just absurd. HRE are pretty damn strong, no matter the map you put them on, but I think you need to come out of the door swinging, and I don't like that we haven't got a Rax play. Actually, I guess it's forgivable. Like, do you really want to Rax into Rus? They'll just get passive golden tech. That's the thing that's so frustrating about the Civ. The Dark Age Rax opening can at least pressure other Civs. You can't really pressure Rus. KP, you're the caster goat, but that orange tint on your glasses aren't it. What? What? Dude, why are you throwing shade? What's wrong with the glasses? I think the glasses look good. It's all about style, my friend. My friend. I like these kind of glasses. I think they're actually pretty cozy. I also really like the rubberized element of them. It means that the headsets don't dig into my glasses. It's really nice. Throwing shades at the shades, man. Alright, so we're going to be getting Golden Gate on Arkin. I mean, the Arkin's not too bad. You actually have berries to work with, which is nice. Sheep count, man, dude, this keeps happening. Hussein is getting out-scouted really badly. He only has 7 sheep. Meanwhile, we're talking about 14 and climbing, right? Because I think there's still a few straggled sheep that are probably going to be going the way of SAS here. So really good start for SAS. Hussein has at least got the berries in range, which he can buff up with. It's not the best spawn for an Arkin anyway, right? Like, he didn't have great options here. The gold wasn't near the tree line. The only thing that was near the tree line was, like, stone or the berries. And the deer aren't in a great position. I actually feel like SAS got a better spawn. He can shove these deer in if he wants to. These ones feel much further away for Hussein. Look like kind of glasses Americans when they go bird hunting. I mean, like I maybe would have gotten where you're coming from if you went for, like, to a gun range, but I don't know. Do they wear this for bird hunting? I don't know. SAS, is he just laming the deer? Oh, dude, he's got pro scouts coming. And Hussein is reacting accordingly. I like this. Pro scouts, I actually think that's the way you need to play this HRE. I will stick on the 2 times to the early game because it's just going to turn into a scout shenanigan on both sides. Rax is coming in from SAS. Nice thing about being Rus in this matchup, you don't have to spend the extra 150 wood on the production building. Arkin is still going to be superior, right? And we have already got 17 villages in range with a 40% gathering speed buff. An interesting thing, actually, is that in this matchup, historically, Rus was really favored because of 2TC play, because they 2TC and then send villagers out to wall off the relics. That doesn't have to happen here. Hussein could actually just go fast castle, because your opponent won't have enough villagers to spare. The weird part, though, is Hussein is choosing to play the Age. We've got Horseman Spears coming. I really just want him to get out of the Age. I think it's a lot better to just tech up, not play into SAS's hand here. We do have Knights now being added in. A little bit interesting that he went Knights after seeing Spears being built. A little bit dangerous because your opponent can just blob more Spears. They're super gamer gunner classes. They are, man. They're the new Overwatch ones. Like I said, I really like them. Look at them. Look at them. They're fancy. It's just the tint goes more orange when you're in front of a screen. It's actually less orange when you're not. Horse Archer are really good in HRE. That's where Pro Scouts makes it interesting, though, because you can afford Horsemen. I do wonder in this matchup if just going Mine Work would, on average, be better, though. Right? You can get the Barded Armor for your Knights. You can get all Pikes for Spears / Horsemen. Guess Arkan's just too good to resist, though. What would be super sick from Hussein is if he goes for Burgrave. Like, you've got Pro Scouts play, right? So you're getting extra food to work with. That would allow you to come over the top. You'd be able to out-Zerg Horse Archer massing. I don't think he's thinking about it, though. Burgrave isn't really explored that much outside the absolute top because, you know, people are still just playing to perfect the standard Pregnants. And it just feels like you're giving up so much. Like, if you go for Burgrave, it puts you on the clock on a timing. If you go for the Arkan into Regnants and you just get as many relics as possible, late game has no limits. High trade house already on the way for SAS, though. Get your numbers in, folks. I have a feeling this is going to be a good one. Village is being lost, not a good sign. It's saying shouldn't really be losing any eco to this type of pressure. It's not that lofty of an amount. I'm being forced to invest in the spears. This is... Oh, man, dude. Like, the... Oh, come on. Did he not get enough? You gotta be kidding me. He didn't get enough from that. He hasn't even dropped off yet. Finally! The misbalance on economy now. Spears just diving out early. Hasena's going to be so far behind. I wouldn't be surprised if SAS immediately preps the monastery. Regnant's now on the way with 11. Hussein, he decides to just go for the Horse Archers. SAS rather goes for the Horse Archers. Crackety, get out. Crackety, hose out. What the hell was that? You show this man some respect. It's his funeral right now. Wait a second. I mean, it kind of is. That's a lot of idle time. SAS is going to have the edge on military massing. At least units that matter here, right? We've got more Knights coming. We've got Horse Archers as well. Hussein has aged up. Is he going to mirror Knights? I don't think you really want to. Very greedy boy going for Prelate straight away. Hasn't unbanked the Prelate from the Arkan. Would have been worth doing to the south side relic. And SAS already racing for those relics himself. First Monk boy just got queued. And this is looking like it could get a bit Monk-esque, actually. Is Hussein going straight crossbows? That's a very interesting play here. One thing I have to give a lot of credit to Pro Scouts for that it does that isn't feasible otherwise in Castle is it makes Horseman spam doable at this point in the game. And actually, it looks like Hussein's actually going to be the one that can do it. So Hussein going into the Horseman. Prelate is picking up the relic in the center of the map. I actually like this as a contested relic territory. Knight is going to be able to block him, though, unfortunately. Go for the wall, lol. Hussein, nice move there. Cool idea, but SAS was quick on the reaction. That heal would have bought maybe just enough time. However, yeah, there is no getting away from this. Both prelates can get sniped. It's 200 gold down the drain. I mean, Hussein's problem isn't that this play isn't kind of cool and smart. It's just that he doesn't have the raw military. We talked about it, right? Like, the blobbing of quality matters here. Hussein, all of a sudden, now starting to wish he went for the safe relic behind him. SAS on course for an easy-peasy 4-relic game. Yeah, and you have to remember that these Warrior Monks cost double what a Prelate does and then some, right? So the fact that he's actually able to contest this easily doesn't bode well. Like, this should be the difficult point for SAS. All of a sudden, the numbers are blobbing up, and at this stage, Hussein's kind of got like an army comp that makes you say, why didn't you just stay Feudal Age? He's building Horsemen, Archers, Spears. At least got Knights coming in, one unit that requires Castle, but most of this comp could have just been blobbed an age earlier. How does Hussein win this? Well, he needs to take these knights and raid. That's step one. You can't just get defensive now. Like, you're going to fall behind on relics. You need to apply pressure. Oh, yeah, not just relics. He's falling behind on more than that. The horse archers have arrived. Hussein. He didn't go for the wall between the two tree lines. Expensive losses there. That's now 7 worker kills in total. Sass just extending his lead. And Hussein, there's no reactions. Dude, this is over. That's an overwhelming lead. 8 villagers up. It's about to be a 3-2 relic split. The high trade house, by the way, was 156 gold in the end. I.e., another 2 relics. So where did this all go wrong for Hussein? I think in the early game, starting to invest in the age, I think you just needed to keep lobbing for a little bit and pressure maybe like that. What is a Roost player going to do when he reaches castle? He's going to horse archer. He's always going to horse archer. So archer play would have had some credence here for HRE. It's tricky because you never think about opening Dark Age pressure into Feudal Age pressure because you can't with Dark Age, right? Not against Roost because they don't touch gold. Like, we've seen games where 15, 16 minutes in the game, Roost players haven't touched gold at all. That's how obnoxious they are. But I think you either commit to the feudal fully, or you just rush castle. Hussein done this weird in-between that can be very good for baiting your opponent to overreact, but I don't think Sassy did. I think he reacted accordingly. He invested just enough to block the initial prelate play. He invested just enough to actually take extra deer away from the HRE and put himself firmly in a position to now win. For some reason, HRE players hate building archers. Not these days, man. Feels like it's all they ever want to do. They get in the games like, can I build archers this game? Need more Roost player every game. Can I build horse archers this game? 3 more worker kills. 4th relic now on the way home. Man, imagine going pro scouts just to end up like this. Always Fortitude also down the way just to make things even rougher. Flash coming in. Remember, he hasn't got many crossbows, so a few knights actually can tank quite a bit. Gas will look to back up. It's got undermesh on the way, though. I don't really see a way for Hussein now. It's just way too far of a lead. More villages now dying on the gold. Oh, commiserations Hussein. He keeps on stepping up to the mark and looking to swing. May get KO'd time and time again, but it's the consistency and trying to find a way to improve that matters. You can't fault him for that. We'll hit the 2x speed now. I'm pretty sure I know the outcome of this one. Yeah, like my advice to Hussein, I actually think the biggest piece of advice I could give him is work on his scouting. I feel like both of these games started off badly for him because of scouting issues. Game 1 was the most apparent with the lack of sheep. Game 2 actually hurt him as well. Yeah. Also, I think like looking at draft in a different way, I don't think high view was the way to play this for safety. The Roost was probably going to be there at the end, but I think you could have maybe thinned the field a bit, maybe open up an alternative option as a result. I think it's going to be able to push out a little bit and do some damage. The problem is the army is just so much bloody bigger. We have 6 rams soon for Sass. Well, I wondered where the rest of the army was. Sass is like, I got somewhere to be. Can we end this quickly? I want to try and have some scrims later. You're in my way. You're blocking my path to success. H3 Archer, your second favorite archer? The speedy boys, right? Zoom, zoom. Sass can go for the boar now. Making sure he milks the map. Still has full control, right? Like, these archers aren't coming out anytime soon. You have to remember that the Hussein is playing pretty blind on the map now. So you might send out cavalry, but never archers. That's a little bit slow direction there, so saying. What is that pathing? This game sometimes. We better keep most of them alive. Dude, like, do you have enough rams? So it's like, I just want one more. Just gotta be sure about this. You know, just one more of these. And we should be good. Hey, do you want to know why you build this many rams? You build 90 rams so that you make the German HRE scream that. Bring on the war, boys! Hussein just saw it. Oh boy. This is the horrific thing about Pigeon's view. You're like, oh, I think the game's kind of going okay. And then out of the stealth forest comes this. He kills GG straight away. Another 2-0 in the round of 32. Top-esque reality. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you, thank you. Game is live or replay? Well, we're casting it live. That one was played about an hour or so ago. So yeah, a 2-0 for SAS. I believe that means we're all caught up on the games. Yeah, like I said, we got 2 more hours until MSN and Numadon plays, so I probably just won't cast that one. What I'll do is I'll find someone to raid. I'm also still tilted over that crash. I'm done trying to stream TikTok. They can like give me a stream queue, and I'll maybe do it. But otherwise, screw that. Because it just kind of ruins the flow of the streams, you know. A little bit annoying. But appreciate everyone that remembered to come back, refresh. YouTube, gonna love you and leave you. Remember, guys, back on Monday. Monday is when we will look to do the round of 16 games. A lot of them will be played over the weekend, I imagine. We'll be catching a bunch of them live, some from recordings. We always aim to cast everything from the round of 16. So between Monday and Tuesday, we should have round of 16 and quarterfinals sorted. Usually we have one semi-finals on Tuesday and then one before the grand finals on Thursday, or both of them on semi-finals on Thursday. But we'll figure those details out and I'll keep you guys updated. But thank you, YouTube. I'm going to end the stream now. I hope they'll see you guys on Monday.